still get so warm and fuzzy on that intro. It always makes me feel so good. Who's the stranger in the middle? Why is there a Paul Bunyan figure in the middle of that? Who is Paul Bunyan?
Technical, just here. We'll do that.
Oh no!
Continue without me for a second. Hold on.
The disembodied voice left.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Well, welcome back, everyone. We took a little hiatus last weekend because our little Frigette was not available, so we didn't want to abandon the fact that we're probably in her backstory arc, as we've mostly concluded everybody else's arcs for the most part, and I think Frigette might be the final arc of everything. There he goes. So Abraxas is having some camera issues, so he'll be fixing that as we play today, as he gets it sorted out. We told him the solution is just throw out his Apple products and stick with,
just burn it all down.
MS-DOS, which is the king of all things.
We get a Linux distro out real quick.
Let me get my 5 1/4 floppy out and reboot my Altair.
Oh wow.
So we took last week and off, but we kind of all hung out and chatted, talked about the game and talk about future campaigns and stuff. But welcome to session 53, everybody, as we get very deep into the campaign and very deep into getting close to getting to the end of this campaign for sure.
No.
So where we last left off, the team had dealt with a creature that had come from the other side of the fell. When attempting to open up a portal gate within the life tree, or the Fey tree, in the very center of the Citadel area, the breach offered an opportunity for a creature to make its way in as it sensed the origin of the Nine. The creature was defeated, and the 9 heads retained, and the creature was ceremoniously let loose in a way of both, well, let's just say they won't be a problem anymore. As we discovered, it was one of the many failed shadows of Keothi on a timeline that had become so corrupt that her very existence and form had been altered tremendously. The team gathered themselves up and managed to make via, I think you guys ended up doing teleportation, correct? Was it teleportation or pass through plants?
We did tree stride.
The transport via plants of
tree stride is not transport via plants. Tree stride allows you to transfer via plant or transfer via tree up to like a certain distance, like a mile or something like that.
It's like
teleportation through plants allows you to travel anywhere through the greater prime material plane. But either way, the team had arrived in Workspire. Mostly thought it was going to be buried in ice and snow, but had discovered that an excavation site had begun, led by a group of dwarves. This site had dug deeply into the buried village, and this was sponsored by Alora. It was also sponsored by the Sky Elves, as they had visited here a few months ago to retrieve Keothi's orb form in the invulnerability orb, and brought her back to the Citadel for study, seeing as how she has one of the 9 books. The team decided to travel here to journey overland into the area that Frigette is from and visit the monastery of the Truth Seekers. Only a 2 to 3 days journey over the Dunrock and down into the plains of the edge of the Savalier Wood and the tundra. And here lies the Truth Seekers Monastery, as far as the team knows it to be. However, once arriving upon Workspire, they begin to realize that the excavation site, brought an old timeline into existence, as the bodies of Frigette, Gork, Mira, Keen, a familiar dwarf, as well as Abraxas, were all found inside of a destroyed, buried in ice home. And it seems that they were possibly met with the encounter of a massive purple worm. And I believe that's where we left off, correct?
No, actually, at the end of our last episode, a wizard with a cat and Allura was there at the end because we discovered that the dwarf was looking for something that was in the past and also was going towards the future, and that was us. And then that's
the
when they showed
wizard.
up.
Oh, that's right. The wizard appeared. Okay, yeah, I missed that part in my notes. That's my bad. Okay, yeah. Now I remember. Okay, hold on 1 second.
Correction,
bookmark.
storyteller.
Actually.
What are you sure Allura was there?
Yeah,
I don't know if Allura was there.
it was someone else that was with the wizard.
I've actually completely forgotten where the last game was.
Honestly, I was totally with you there, storyteller. I don't remember the part with the wizard.
I remember the wizard appearing, but I think I had mentioned that the dwarf had mentioned that Allura was the sponsor of the excavation site, not necessarily physically there.
Right, or it could have been an apparition of her too with the wizard.
Maybe. Though I did have a note about the meteor and Allura, bit of the past and the future.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't say whether she was there.
Did somebody identify or scry the meteor? Is that why we got that
No.
responsive? Because I've got the meteorite. No, you guys read a meteorite with a message written by
From
one of
from
your separate timelines.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're right. Upon reading the message on the meteorite, it seemed to be written by Allura. And at the point of finishing reading it, a wizard suddenly appeared after completing the read of the meteorite. And that's where we last left off. And you guys are currently inside the collapsed house, where all your bodies are, which is kind of strange. And after reading the meteorite, all of you are kind of standing around looking at this strange wizard who's now standing and staring. He's touching his robes awkwardly. His head, his face begins to blink. Am I really here?
I'll go up and poke him.
Ow! That hurts.
Who?
Question.
What does he
Well, yeah,
look like?
Who is this person?
So you said there are bodies on the floor, correct?
It's like in various degrees of how you perished. Yeah.
Oh, right. Sam
do
was
we have-
there.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Is there another one of my weapons on the ground too?
Not that you could see.
Okay, just checking.
No, there's not another
tracks.
Thor's
Really good
hammer.
question.
Damn. Do they have anything really on them, or just what they had? They're just their clothes, and that's it.
It's almost like it's just their physical possessions of normalcy. Nothing out of the ordinary other than that. And they've been here a long time. This is almost like an older section of what was even below the original Rourke Spire. So this is either the fragment of a previous timeline that concluded here or related to something else. As the wizard stands there looking around, he is surprisingly young. He's got very kind of like suntan skin, black hair that's very short cropped, and he's wearing revenant attire as if maybe he belongs to an order of wizards. But he almost seems out of place for a moment. And he looks back and sees the meteorite on the ground and he goes, Oh. Well, hello. My name's Colwyn. I often use that to travel. Where am I? What year is this?
Well, I actually don't know.
I
What did
tell
you
him
decide?
what year it is
843?
in
Yeah.
calendar in the
You're right.
appropriate calendar
Yeah,
time that we all
yeah.
know.
Yeah, and he goes,
It's 843 PD.
What year
There
did
you
you
go.
say, Keen?
Because I'm a nerd.
What'd you-
I thought it was like 843.
It is. Yeah, it's 843 is wrapping up because of that one time dilation you guys did over in the Grey Valley. So we're getting close to the end of 843 PD at this point. And he looks and he goes, huh, 843, you say?
Where are
And-
you from?
Well, the last place I remember being from was the Morrow Valley. I just helped some friends of mine deal with a particular problem, and I'm going to say that was back in 700 PD, maybe 143 years ago. I
You're
think.
saying you moved forward in time.
Maybe, or sometimes I move back. Sometimes.
Is this a common occurrence for you?
Well, I'm looking for something.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for a tower.
Oh, I think we should just kill
one?
this one.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean, which one? You've seen, like, do you mean you've seen multiple towers?
Mhm.
State.
What kind of tower? The stone towers, wood towers, siege towers,
Yeah.
Well,
towers that move places.
Well, now that you mention it, I should probably be a little more specific. Being corrected by an orc is always interesting. I think, and the mage kind of like pulls out a book and he reads it. It's a tower that can travel, and it
Yep.
almost has like a mind of its own.
Does the book look familiar? Or-
Give me a perception check as you stare at the book.
In what language
Why are
it's in?
you looking for this particular tower?
Well, I tried to bond with it at one point, and it didn't quite work out. I wasn't quite as powerful then. But after I died as an old man and then came back as a young man, I feel like I'm more up to the task.
So you're trying to bond it like in marriage.
No, I didn't try to
Should we have a little ceremony for you?
Does someone belong to this orc?
I rolled a 20.
This orc
20?
belongs to us.
You could see that it's his spell book.
Mhm.
You could see the arcane nature of it. There's nothing all that different than it just being like a traditional spell book.
Mhm.
But it seems to be the focus of his, like he reads it and then describes the tower and the behavior of the tower.
What language is it in?
It looks to be a common language and common.
What are you looking for this tower?
Well, okay. So here's the thing. I thought the tower revealed itself to me, and he goes, "Can we sit?" I don't know why, and he kind of goes and sits on a box, and he pulls off a boot, and he's like, you notice that when he upturns the boot, like swamp water and other stuff come pouring out of it, and he puts the boot back on. I was trying to bond with this tower some time ago. It was a remnant of my mentor who goes by the name of Ashenor. Really bad guy. Super bad guy. Me and my friends dealt with him. He's gone. Unfortunately, that he left his tower behind. So I tried to understand it better, and evidently it's this tower that has the ability to travel not only to the different planes of existence, but it has a temporal distortion about it as well. It has an ability to possibly move through time. I never quite understood that, but then the tower tried to kill me. It cursed me. My friends uncursed me, kept me from killing them. It's a very, very complex story.
killing your
What?
friends.
Well, yeah, the tower had a way of like convincing you to, you can kind of just be very
You're just gonna look to the group.
Hey, Braxis, can you minor illusion what a Keothi's tower looks like real quick?
I immediately do.
And you
Does it
watch
look
as
like that?
Abraxas, you watch as Corwin gets up. Holy shit, that's it. Where is it? Have you seen it?
Well,
Did you know that he had any other pupils besides yourself?
Oh, I've never really thought. I know that me and my ranger friend were mentored by him. I guess, I mean, he was an old enough, powerful enough wizard. Yeah.
Does the
Maybe
name
he could have.
Keothi mean anything to you?
Rubs at his kind of like unshaven chin and he thinks, no, not particularly. Why? Are they important?
Well,
Yes.
we know the tower to be in possession of a person named Keothi, so that's why.
so
Oh.
a lot of weirdness has been happening around everything.
No,
happening.
Jesus!
Yeah, hey,
Or
buddy.
or Bamu.
Yeah,
You're dead over here. All of you are dead. What is
Oh,
they're
yeah.
what is this?
So
And he starts kind of like backing away from the five of you and looking at the ground like, look,
Yeah.
I don't want any trouble. Look, whatever you're into, you're into. I
all
get
right,
it.
Jackie Chan. No one wants
Can
trouble.
I cast
You
calm?
need to be explaining to us. You just bamfed in out of nowhere. and
Somebody read the meteorite. That's what pulled me in.
that's what
Sure.
pulled you in. The meteorite with scrawling on it. That
Well, yeah,
Somebody
it's a
wrote.
temporal anchor. Somebody wants to be here for a reason.
yeah, that's a. We don't know if that's a good reason or a bad reason. So you better endear us
Oh,
to
well,
endear
that's
yourselves
fair.
to us pretty quick.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, you guys didn't actually kill yourselves, did you? Is this
No.
kind of some weird ceremony or something that I've plopped into?
Or if there was two of me, I'd rule this plane.
Well, it's already a strange occurrence that you're able to move back and forward in time
Is it?
multiple times.
I mean,
I just kind of glanced at Braxis. It's
Bryce is like, is it?
It's a common
who is-
occurrence on this adventure
Who
here.
is this Ashenor? Does that name sound familiar?
Give me a history check.
I mean,
Um, You said that Colwyn's robes looked like he was part of a wizard's
19.
order.
Yeah, kind of.
That- Familiar at all?
Give me a history check, considering that you're from the Truth Seekers. What'd you get, Abraxas?
a 19.
A 19? It's strange. The name Ashenor is actually a Sylvan translation for an Elven word that you recognize. And it is it's a Sylvan expression of Keothi.
Oh, it's like, Miguel versus Michael.
Correct.
Got it.
Oh.
Got it.
Uh-oh.
What?
Spaghetti.
What happened? Is everybody okay?
And I'm gonna minor illusion like of the version of the most neutral of the Keothis that we've seen, right? The one that has all of her characteristics.
That's fair.
Like when they do those AI mashes of all these politicians, like this is what every Republican looks like. This is what every Democrat, if you just lay them on top of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to do
So
that,
Jet,
but with
what'd you
all
get
of the
on your-
Keothis.
What'd you get on your history check for Jet?
23.
23.
Yeah.
The colorations that he's
Please.
the colorations that he's wearing is emblematic of an order called the Seven. And it's an ancient order that's been kind of gone for a very long time. And they were known to possess 7 power stones as well as the staff of power.
Wait.
And the combination of these two things basically created the staff of Magus.
Isn't that the thing that Elora has?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then also I'm thinking that elemental stone that Keothi has in that bubble, he might know something about it.
True dat, true
And
dat.
as you bring Keothi into existence, he seems genuinely perplexed and he goes, This is not what Ashenor looks like. And he stares at the image and walks around the image.
About the Shadowfell thing that we fought.
And but there's something about her eyes. Her eyes
Describe it.
remind me so much of Ashenor.
And I'm going to start like adapting it to like a police sketch artist,
Right.
that kind of thing.
And then you watch as he brings up an image of Ashenor next to it. And he stands back and he stares at the two images. They look different. And as you see the Ashenor image that he brings up, it's of a kind of very equally tall, older, much older human male wearing similar attire to what Corwin's wearing. But the eyes look identical. The eyes look like a perfect match.
Human.
And he walks towards the image and looks at Keothi, and then looks at... I mean, it's possible he could have mastered different ways of existing in time, maybe?
Yet another timeline.
I don't... Not really... Timelines... Ashenor had reached out to the future, and he was trying to find the timeline that he succeeded on and was able to wield the Staff of the Magus and control the Staff of Power. And he tried through a ceremony to bring that person back into his timeline in order to bring about a situation that nearly destroyed Exandria. Me and my friends were able to stop him. Unfortunately, we weren't successful in saving all of the wizards that were relevant to the staff. And so we locked it away in a vault of the Cobalt Soul in Nicodranas. But Ashenor's gone, I know this much. But somehow, I don't know, these two seem pertinent.
I'm starting
Don't
to
know
think
why.
we should just kill Keothi again.
But can we talk about the large elephant in the room? Your bodies? And you watch as he walks over to where Forget's... He's like looking down at the eviscerated Forget that's been ripped in two with a massive purple worm stinger that's gone through her. And he looks at her and then gets up and looks over at Forget. I mean, look, you're right. Me coming into existence is pretty weird. But you're talking with me around your dead bodies.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And?
kind of weird too, don't you think?
For sure.
This is why
Awesome.
timelines are on our mind.
Hard agree.
Same page.
But it
Same
is
page.
very
Same
strange.
book. Yeah.
Hard agree.
Yeah, would
So-
you believe we stumbled upon this?
How did I die?
Well, like you walk over and look at yourself, you're in pieces. Like your upper sternum is ripped, but like the metal's all destroyed that was once fastened to your body has been cracked and ripped apart. Your lower half is ripped apart. Like you went down fighting tooth and nail is what it looks like.
Well, that must have hurt.
So, cool one. Have you ever traveled to a time that you've already been?
Not yet. That's why I'm trying to find this tower. I think this tower helps that happen. I had a vision when I originally tried to attune to this tower. It showed me a period of Exandria called the Founding. It showed me the art of creation. I think this tower has been around since creation. I even think it might be responsible for it.
And why do you want it? Why do you want to be attuned to it?
I feel like I can resist it better and manage it better.
To do what?
There are worlds out there that are in trouble, that need help. and needs saving.
Insight
think I-
check.
Yeah, you can give me an insight check. That I think this tower will help with doing that.
Dirty 20.
I got a nat 20.
Ooh.
Not only does he seem genuine, but he seems a little bit like hurt that he's not being believed. Like he is pouring out his emotions.
It's very altruistic of you.
Well, it's magic. It's power. And in the wrong hands, I'm kind of afraid what the tower might be capable of.
So why not destroy it?
Well, see, that's a good point. We tried that. Didn't work out so well.
Why? What happened?
Oh, well, I guess it's kind of far in the future. It took them a while to rebuild the town, but it's okay. I'm sure they did fine. Not too many people got hurt.
When was that you tried to destroy the tower? When? Where?
Maybe 120 or so odd years ago. Just back when me and my friends had just gotten rid of Ashenor, and we were trying to figure out what the tower could do. At some point, when my friends cured me of the way the tower was corrupting my mind, the tower recognized that I was no longer attuned to it, and it disappeared, gone. And I've been following it ever since, trying to figure out where it went.
Well,
I put myself... Okay, this is going to sound weird, but I put a piece of myself in the meteorite. I've sent dozens of these meteorites out throughout different planes of existence and other places. And if someone were to read it, it's supposed to pull me in from wherever I was. The problem is, in order for the magic to work, I can't remember where I was because it creates, what did she call it? She called it Laura called it a time flux. Two of the same versions of myself can never actually know the same memories of each other. In fact, from what I understand, anyone who's experienced time shift or what they call time stringing and retains those memories, very dangerous for that to happen.
You mentioned Allura?
Yeah, I've talked to her on a couple occasions. She helped me figure out how to use these meteorites, how to use them as anchor points throughout different areas to pull me in if someone were to ever read the inscriptions.
So you've been working with two of the most powerful mages.
Well, at the time, I didn't know she was powerful, to be fair. During my travels, I stumbled across her power, and she began to help me. Now, this Ashenor was a bad motherfucker. That guy deserved what he got, and he got it bad. I just don't understand this link with this Keothi. There were dozens of Ashenors at play, but they all look like Ashenor. I don't know why he would have a relationship with this Keothi. She's clearly Goliath. Maybe. I'm assuming she is.
Well, I guess you could follow us along. Eventually we'll come across it again.
Oh.
Stranger things have happened.
Are you okay? Are you okay if I travel with you?
For now.
Where are you guys going? And should we bury you first?
No.
It feels like we should do that.
Well, a waste of time if you ask me.
Okay. Look, I'm just saying.
I would very much like my body to be buried at though.
Yeah.
I thought we lowered you into the ground already.
Yeah,
you did.
We did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did bury for Jet.
Okay.
We just haven't buried the other bodies yet. I'd be happy
Yeah.
to stay behind to bury the others.
Where?
as well.
So, where are you guys going?
Good question. We
This way, that way.
Yeah.
that general direction.
Oh, I think we're headed to a monastery next.
Monastery. The only monastery I know is the ruins of the Truth Seeker Monastery over on the other side of the mountains.
Ruins?
The pardon?
Well, sorry. Well, for my time, from where I kept. Sorry, I keep forgetting. My bad.
Yeah. Guys, just letting you guys know, you have to start thinking fourth dimensionally. You have to start thinking about how many variations there are.
So
and you got to act as if. You got to play cool, because otherwise it's a dead giveaway that we're not aware of time things. If we go like, it's like, oh yeah, there's ruins over there. What?
Excuse me.
my chromatic friend, what is your name? What is your name?
Oh, my name is Abraxas.
A pleasure to meet you. You're exactly right. I remember at some point on this timeline that I'm on that I did interact with a Truth Seeker Monastery, but it was a ruin, and there was somebody there that went by the name of Gribbets or something that was excavating the site.
We know a Gribbets, or
We did.
there's a
He
Gribbets.
seemed like a wizard, kind of artificer type. I don't know.
How old
Very
was he when
eccentric.
you met him?
How old was he when I met him? Maybe in his 30s or 40s, perhaps. Does his name sound familiar to you?
Yeah.
We've encountered Gribbets. Yes.
Strange.
Why?
I don't know. He seemed like a very strange person. He said he was obsessed with looking for a book.
He's very dead.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
yeah.
You mean, oh.
Sleeps the long wink.
Found his book.
Way to put it.
Ooh.
It's like you watch as Corwin stares at Mirror for a second, kind of freaked out and a little, kind of like, okay.
It's really
Very
ominous.
very dark and broody, but okay.
That's mad ominous.
So I appreciate you guys letting me travel with you, but here's my problem. This effect lasts for 24 hours. After 24 hours, I get pulled back to where I was. It's kind of like a version of astral projection. Very, very powerful spell. It brings me out and puts me somewhere for a 24-hour period. I'm able to search, look around, find clues, and then it pulls me back in. But I'm physically here, and I have the ability to use my spells.
Yeah.
I do have teleportation circle, if that would be beneficial in any way.
Well, for Jet, do you happen to have those like a symbol from your order, the symbols that might get us there, or is this we're gonna have to trek situation?
Have the symbols that would get you there.
Something that's
Or an item.
representative of the Truth Seeker Monastery.
My uniform, my journal with our crest on it.
Well, but more importantly, I've been there already, just in a different time. So I'm familiar with the spot. I can get you there really quick. The question is, do you want to go there?
Why not?
Because if he's interested in the tower, aren't we actually below Keothi's tower in this place?
Is it still up on the
Yeah,
cliff?
yeah.
The one that was fractured and split into pieces when it rolled down, and then the old
foundation
basement section,
Yeah.
the foundation of the tower where the map room was with all the different transportation points throughout the Greying Lands.
Oh, that's interesting, because he said he couldn't destroy the tower.
No, he did
Right?
destroy it once, and it
He
destroyed a town.
We tried to.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So maybe.
Interesting.
So you're saying that there's a tower here?
Yeah, and it's destroyed.
Interesting.
But then there's
Different tower,
another
maybe?
one in another place, and then another one in another place.
So wait, you're saying there might be more than one tower?
There is.
The same tower, I think, just Because it's just the
It's
timey-wimey travel.
Yeah.
Huh. And you watch as he kind of just generally sits back down on a boulder on the inside of the hollowed out house. Can we go somewhere else? I'm still not comfortable being around your dead bodies. I'm just saying. It's
Mira,
weird.
do you have like the mold earth thing?
Yes,
have you
I
not
do.
have you
Okay,
not
I'll-
experienced? I understand
Yeah.
they're just
Well,
bodies. I mean, have you not
Yeah, but-
experienced death?
But
You seem familiar with it and uncomfortable with it at the same time.
I've
I mean,
never
we know the
experienced this
truth.
before. I've never experienced this before.
See, they're just bodies.
They're you.
But they're not. They're not. The idea of us is different. We're different in these times. You seem to bounce between them and are still yourself.
Kind of looking around. He goes, all right. I
But
guess.
these are not us. We need to make sure that I understand you may have a different view of what is happening, but you are in this time with us now. These people came from a different time. So while
And
we
he
have
stops you right there and he puts up his hand. But they died on your timeline.
yes.
Uh-huh.
That can't happen
Why not?
because each one's unique. If two of them merge, that creates a paradox.
But we didn't merge. That one's dead, and this one's right here.
But at some point they did.
Or they time traveled to a different time that we already were. And
They
then
made
died.
an escape from their time as a way to save their lives, which I believe failed.
That's a good point.
Hence
So
the
They honestly
tablet.
didn't know time could cross like that.
Well, if it didn't cross, where would they have come from?
I don't know. I've just never seen anything like this before. It's strange.
again, they are not us. We are ourselves and have our own agency, and I get it. It's purely organic matter that was a vessel, and that's not true anymore. So that is pretty unique. That's pretty standard, I would assume, through all times, that there is the physical form and the metaphysical form.
It's a good point.
Now, what you're saying is that in the past, in your experience, you're saying that there has, if we were to inhabit another timeline, we would merge with ourselves in that timeline, which I believe I've done a few times.
You believe you've done that a few times?
I think so. Yeah.
Just
Because I'm not from this time. Now, we've had, this is a lot to unpack. We're on like season 12. And you're like starting a new TV show at season 12.
I'm waiting for Scott Bakula to jump in.
We gotta catch in. So you and I are not too dissimilar, but I believe that we are using different tools to kind of do the same thing. Now, my curiosity is, you're here now because we read the stone from the other timeline's
Perception.
emergency.
Yeah.
That's
back.
a good point.
So that stone was from a different timeline. That magic came to this timeline, and now you are here with us, which means that you from this timeline is now gone, and you are here with us. Or are you a projection? You said that it only lasts a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Are you not crossing the streams in this situation?
I'm probably more of a projection, I think. But you guys are experiencing the paradox.
Yeah, because they're dead already, and I believe that may have been part of the whole.
No, I mean you, Abraxas.
Hmm?
I think you're the paradox.
Oh, for sure.
I think as long
Absolutely
as
not
you
supposed to be here.
exist on any timeline, there's a risk that other timelines will terminus here. Other timelines will end up here as they seek out the fact that you're a paradox.
Do magnets
You're the
exist in this
center point.
world?
What's that?
Do magnets exist in this world?
Not in the contemporary sense, but in an arcane sense, they can.
I believe there is a draw in my makeup that is doing this, and I don't know if doing that has made me stronger or connected me more to the magics of the planes that have been incorporated into my being. Long story. But I don't know. We have an idea of what the end game is for this plane, but the one variable that I can't account for, that one little itch, that one thing that doesn't seem to fit, is Keothi, as you know her her metaphysical self to be as Asheron. Is that Asheron? Ashenor. As you know them to be Ashenor.
Mm.
They appear to have made just a big old mess. And I don't know if the mess is what's keeping the evil at bay, or
what was this Keothi's vexation? What was she focused on?
The Calamity.
The Calamity?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why the Calamity? I don't understand. I mean, that's kind of common history, isn't it? No one...
Is it? You're talking about common history. There's nothing common about the timelines that have jumped and that have been changed, because and some, if I'm understanding correctly, because again, I don't have much knowledge on this. I'm just experiencing it as we go. I believe some of these timelines have also been removed from the mess. Like when you untangle Christmas lights and you finally get one strand out, and you're like, yes.
I don't know what Christmas lights are, but
sorry, Winter's Crest.
He goes, is it possible?
Would it be awesome if Abraxas is Jewish this whole time? It's like, I'm sorry, yes, I celebrate Hanukkah, and then there's Winter's Crest.
You cut off the last part of your name. It should be Abraxstein.
Abraxas. Yeah.
Well, no, he like looks at you when you mention the idea of different terminus and different timelines, and he goes, Corwin kind of looks at you. Is it possible that Keothi's theory, and I just rolled a natural 20 on the arc, goes, is it possible that Keothi's theory was centered on fragments of time that she discovered? And in those fragments of time, the Calamity never concluded. It was still ongoing.
Yeah. We don't know. There's no obvious good or bad here. We just know that there's a mess. And we want to clean things up in a way that will allow the most good timelines to continue, while probably sealing the Calamity off in the other timelines where they have not, where Keothi has made her mark. You know, this is we have the tools that we believe, or we're searching for the remaining tools that we need to seal them off as we know it here. And I believe, I mean, this is, that the Keothi of this time is waiting for the right place and time for her emergence, so we can get some fucking answers.
Answers, or
if you say questions, I'm gonna punch you in the mouth. We have so many questions, and what we need is very clear for this timeline. If we can seal this one timeline, I feel like it will bring Keothi back, and then once we have that situation open to us, we can address this timeline jumble that she's created.
If you give me a moment, please. And he reaches into his robe and pulls out a small metal orb, and he throws it up in the air. And it begins to glow. And as the orb kind of floats around, what can I do for you, boss? Mendardis, can you match this anchor point to the other ones? One moment, boss. And it begins to float around, absorb points of light, and you guys watch as like a starlight galaxy of spray colors comes out to pinpoint things, and it floats outside, and it's kind of gone for a few moments, comes back in, All data collected, boss. I got it all for you. Thanks, Menti. I'll talk to you later. And the globe goes into his robe.
Mm.
I wish she was here to show off our.
Obviously.
Yeah.
She's on the way.
I wish. Interesting.
I gave him an insight check. Does anyone reflexively respond at all to the fact he just talked to a version of Menti?
I think there's gonna be of course,
I'm
like
just
a
gonna look at-
kind of just
yeah.
like of course.
Okay.
Yeah. I wonder if she's a genie over there too. I think to myself and not say out loud.
Right.
But
Yeah,
we're
raises a
there's just
brow.
gonna be like this acknowledgement of like, right.
And there's almost like at this point, seeing that, there's almost like this Abraxas Corwin connection. Like Corwin's affinity for magic, his kind of like sense of responsibility, pushing himself to conclude this journey he's on, is not all that different in the way that Abraxas has kind of treated things a bit. Although with this group, it's been more about maintaining the cohesion of the group, the friendship and the family kind of like spectrum of the journey. But Abraxas is still the paradox. Abraxas is still the only one that's crossed over into multiple existences and ended up on this one existence, and is now this paradox moving through it all. And that's kind of what Corwin is muttering under his breath as he's walking around trying to piece this strange thing together. I think I need to go with you.
Yeah.
For at least for as long as the effects will hold.
So where should we go?
According to your timeline, how far is this place, the library on the other side of the mountain?
What town are we in right now?
I tell him.
Rokespire. And he kind of thinks about it for a moment. Well, I've got no memory of this place. But if we're near the Breach Pass, 2-3 days by foot to get there.
Okay.
Perhaps, maybe.
Did you want to stop at the tower before we go?
I was going to ask, but I didn't want to impose. I think if we could make the climb up to the cliff face where her tower used to be, it might be helpful. It might help. It might. I'm not making any guarantees, but it might.
It's close, so we can do that and then teleport to the monastery.
Yeah.
It's a plan.
Meanwhile, we're burying bodies.
Yeah, we are burying bodies.
You know what? I'll let you
May
do it.
rest
I'm
in
going to
pieces.
hang out over here. You guys do what you got to do. And he kind of just like dips through the opening of the door and back out into the excavation site. There's a lot of dwarves yelling, "Where the bloody hell did you come from? Every time someone goes in there, somebody else comes out. What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And like people are yelling, and then their yelling kind of drifts away.
Could we? This is still the same day as that fight we had, right?
Yeah, it's
So-
all.
Yeah, we haven't rested.
Yeah,
We
real
haven't
life
rested.
makes it feel like a long time, but yeah, it's still the same.
Yeah.
Like the last 3 sessions have been within the same time period of the day.
Yeah.
Would this count as a short rest?
Yeah, you can count it as a short rest. I'm okay with that.
Just take some die. Ooh, nice.
All right. And
So
then
what are you guys doing?
we'll just bury the bodies outside of the shack then. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So 10 minutes goes by. Kaladin and the rest of your forms brought out over by where Frigette's form was kind of put into the ground through mold earth. Mary, you kind of take the time to make it a little bit easier. The ground's frozen, so it would take a long time otherwise, but you're able to manipulate via mold earth to create the impressions, and all of the bodies are laid in, and then the earth is covered. Corwin, the wizard, is kind of off to the side, just patiently kind of just going over his gear, and he suddenly has a backpack on that he somehow got a hold of, and is kind of just doing that, that prep that people do when they know they're about to go on a bit of a legging at this
While
point.
we're doing taking care of the bodies, I will sneak off and call Allura and see if she knows this Corwin guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Keen, as all that's going on, you find a nice quiet area within the excavation site, and you reach out to Allura. And on a small rock, you put the stone there, and you realize her astral projection comes into existence. Oh, Keen, is everything okay? I wasn't expecting to hear from you anytime soon.
Things are getting very strange.
What do you mean?
So I'll fill around, like, how we went to Rookspire and found our, alternate selves dead, and this meteor with her message on it, and we read it, and then that brought this guy Corwin to us, and he says that he's
there.
Yes, and I describe him like, this young man, short
And you
black
immediately
hair.
see Kima's little astral projection move in to the same projection circle that Allura's in, and you see Kima's visage. Cohen's there, huh? You know what
A
that
version
means,
of
Allura.
him.
I know. Just she shoves her out of the projection and goes, "Sorry about that, Keen. If Cohen's there, did you find the meteorite?"
Yes, that's what brought him here. We read the message on it.
Okay. What I need you to do is I need you to crack open that meteorite. And there's a stone inside of it. It's a stone that I made some time ago. I need you to hold on to it.
Okay. Can we trust this Corwin?
He's eccentric. I think... How do I describe this? Keen, one of the amazing things you've been able to do over time is your command of your psyche. No matter how traumatized, no matter how traumatic, you seem to recover when you can. And you hold on to your psyche quite well. People like Corwin, and to a certain degree, people like Keothi, when they travel in and out of very unique conditions, a bit of that psyche wears down. A bit of your mental proudness wears down. Your edge begins to dull. I think one of the great demands of those that travel between planes of existence, as well as those that dabble with the idea of time. Have you ever heard of a wizard called Halas?
I don't know, have I?
You would have known him under the common historical term
Okay.
of a wizard that, from the period of Arcanum, who used his power to reach out to other planes of existence in the hopes of kind of avoiding the circumstances of Arcanum and safely hiding for eternity throughout all these strange places of existence. He went quite mad. In fact, most believe he still wanders out there. I have some insights into that. And most believe that he will remain forever traveling until he's quite mad and he can't remember how to get back. Corwin, I think, has mastered the art of astral projection through these stones that I taught him how to use. I need these stones back if you find any more of them. They're very powerful, and I don't want them to fall into the wrong hands.
Very well.
Do I think he can be trusted? I think he can be trusted up to 24 hours. I think the amount of time he's able to be anchored where he is, it's with purpose and intent on his obsession with this tower. Now, me and Kima have spent some time wondering if it is Keothi's tower that he's looking for. We're not entirely sure that it is. But perhaps wherever he's from, whatever he's done, he has found information that makes him believe that it is. But he believes in what he's doing. But I believe the more he stretches his limits, the deeper into the shadows of madness he goes. And he risks the similar fate of those that practice very powerful and uncontrollable magics. If he's not careful, he could end up being as mad as Halas is becoming.
Okay. Well, I'll keep an eye on him then.
Where are you and your friends now?
We are in Workspire, and I think we are going to go to the ruins of Keothi's tower, and then off to the Truth Seekers Monastery.
Ah, good. You're still on course to possibly find another book with the
Correct.
Truth Seekers. Keen, things are not predictable right now. I know you're very fond of your new friends. I'm quite fond of Fajette. I don't think what waits for you is entirely a warm homecoming. I've tried to scry on the monastery twice. I've had no success. Either they can prevent me from doing so for whatever purpose of their own defensive nature, or something else is going on there. The nearest group I have by foot to safely travel there so that magics aren't detected would be some of the Sky Elves. I've sent a small scout of contingents a day ago, but they won't be there for another 4 days. They have to cross the entire tundra to get there. Be careful, Keen. I think something goes on there. Be cautious.
I always am.
Well, except for that one time when you were climbing through that one and the projection goes away.
Parents. Bring up the embarrassing stories. All right. I'm going to go return to the group.
Okay. You guys are gathered in the excavation site of Workspire. It is mid-morning at this point. Well, no, it is late afternoon at this point, I believe, would be the more apt timeline that you're on. Maybe a few hours till dark. It'll take about 2 hours to make the ascent up to the ruins. So you're looking at a 2-hour hike up the side of the cliffs and mountain face that you're staring up.
Okay. Before we go, I'll talk to Gork.
Okay.
Gork, I just spoke with Alora, and she said she's hidden a stone in the meteor. Do you think you could open it? She thinks it's important.
Or do you have it?
No, we have to open the meteor. There's like the thing that the wizard came in.
But how big's a meteor? I
It's
was- I
maybe
was-
about 3 feet across, a foot and a half around. It's like a large rock.
Okay, I thought it was like something small someone had in their hand. Okay, no. Yeah, I can try and open it. I'll head over to the rock and just kind of like I guess I don't have anything besides my sword. Yeah, I'll just try and like slam it with my sword. Just
Okay. Go ahead and give me an attack roll. I love it when you do that. It's so cool.
oh, that's that's a 12.
Oh, no.
You break the sword. It, like, when it hits, the sparks go everywhere. And your hands, all the way up to your elbows, are just ringing as you're like, oh, Jesus.
Let me see. I will try again.
Go for it.
Is there anything I can do to help?
17.
17. This time, there's a slight edge of the blade that's a little bit nicked, so you'll probably have to sharpen that out later. But you bring the sword up, and you flatten it a little bit at the last minute, and then it digs into the stonework of the casement around the meteorite, and it cracks almost like a brittle shell, and the whole thing falls away to small like pebbles and rocks, and then you hear boom, as a baseball-sized blue stone just kind of lands on the ground where you shatter the meteorite.
I'll kind of just reach down and pick it up, and this is what you're looking for.
I think so.
I'll,
Thank you.
Can I don't have identify, I don't think. No. Is the meteorite itself made of like a metallic material or just kind of rock?
It feels like it was metal at one point, but whatever it went through to do its purpose made it very brittle. Almost like slag that doesn't really have value anymore.
Okay. Yeah. What is it?
Supposedly it helped to bring the wizard here and has a lot of power in it. Allura says there are more of these and it's important to keep them safe. So
it itself was not magical when I looked at it, right?
Looked at what, the meteorite?
Yeah, originally.
It just had an inscription on it.
Yeah. Maybe it's because it was from the magic was different from another place, but
Although Gork does point out that the shell encasement of the meteorite is slag lead. So it was wrapped in lead for all intents and purposes. Ooh, what are you drinking, Mike?
just a little seltzer water with some hint of flavor.
Do you have it in like a holder? Is that why it looks weird?
This is R2D2.
Oh, okay. I thought it was. I was like, are you drinking?
I'm drinking
R2D2?
from the brains of R2D2. What? Don't everybody? So, I mean, what do we have pending here? I mean, this is a new wrinkle, and we've buried the organic forms of our other selves.
Mm-hmm.
And do we need we prepared for the cold for this trip, no?
Oh yeah.
So we're bundled up, we're wearing our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can head off to
And
the
we can
tower.
Yep.
Figure
And
it out from here.
by the time you guys start on your pathway march up to the ruins, you notice that Corwin has brought in a familiar. There's a small fey rat on his shoulder, and he seems to refer to it as Hector.
Mm.
Aw.
And he kind of looks at Hector. Do you mind just this once? I know you don't like it. I know you hate it, but it would help. And like Hector makes a lot of squeaky noises and then becomes a hawk
Mm.
and then flies up into the air and starts circling above you guys as you begin to walk and scale the side of the cliff face and the mountain trail up into the ruins.
The irony of turning into your own predator.
That's why he was like, I know you hate it. I know it, but it
Interesting.
works. It's kind of like when the chickens are talking about Foster Farms. You know, those commercials.
Oh.
Those were so cringy. It's like, oh, it's so weird watching those commercials.
Yeah, unless we have to prepare. I mean, I can also do some flying around and scouting, if anything.
If you want to, sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the thing where every so often to make sure that we are not getting lost or not stepping on what could be uneven territory. We look for routes
Yeah.
that are easier.
Yeah.
You know,
I would mold
So-
earth to kind of make the
being a
trail
being a
more
real
easier.
ranger.
I'll say part of this journey is familiar to a couple of you.
Mhm.
So, although the path is currently sheltered by snow and rock that have kind of fallen across the face of it over the course of the recent time that you've known it to be here, the path is relatively easy to find. First hour goes by, no real sign of any trouble or concern. And as you approach the tail end of the day, being high up on this point, the light is lasting a little bit longer as it's setting below the horizon that you're walking up. So there's about an hour left of light by the time you get within visual distance of the ruins. And sure enough, about 100 feet down from the foundational ruins, you can see the shattered pieces of the main tower. You can also see poking out of the dirt, snow, and ice above that, up on the edge of where the tower used to sit, the foundation itself with the fractured portion of the tower, like it had ripped off and fallen off the foundation. For those of you that were here before, remembering that moment in time, nothing looks ultimately disturbed. As you get a little bit closer, you notice some recent scaffolding built. This might be what the Sky Elves used to remove Keothi from her position that she was in and took her out to the Citadel. So there has been people here. You could see the remnants of whatever work they were doing here before. But for the most part, they seem to work on the outside of the base of the tower. All of you approach it just as the last bit of light is barely in. The moon is coming up, and it's a very clear, it's cold. At some point, you watch as Corin reaches into his backpack, pulls out a very heavy, thick Yeti cloak and kind of shoulders it on and straps it around his neck, pulling up the hood to kind of keep the cold from, but you can see his breath kind of puffing out from underneath. All of you can kind of see your breaths at this point. And you're standing around the base ruin of where the tower used to be. The door slightly swung open that leads down into the basement structure where all the previous rooms were that you had found before.
Would I notice differences?
Give me investigation with advantage because you're familiar with this spot.
Absolutely. Let's see. 15.
Looking around, other than the scaffolding that was erected, some signs that the Sky Elves were here, nothing else particular stands out. How long has it been since you've been here? Probably, 6-7 months?
Since the first of our adventures.
Yeah. Because you were in the Grey Valley for a 3-month dilation. Then, of course, there was... So, yeah, it's been about 6 or 7 months since you were last here. Tail end of spring. Because spring has come and gone. You spent the summer in the Grey Valley, and now you've left the Grey Valley to go continue to look for the books because it's now the beginning of winter. Late fall, beginning of winter at this point.
Right.
And Mira, this place is familiar to you, but it used to be a whole tower. Like you're standing there watching everybody else look. You remember meeting Keothi down at the Red Pony. You remember her walking you up here and the two of you talking about studying and looking for some signs over at Urlis to help her find something that she was looking for. All that is fresh in your mind, but you're looking at the experience that the others had at some point. This tower being fractured and Keothi putting herself in that globe of invulnerability, protecting the book that she had. And you hear kind of like Erebus kind of like in your mind again. What was she protecting the book from is the thing I don't understand. Why was she protecting it? Not from these people, for sure. Was something else attacking her at the time? Something...
Don't know.
Yeah, something else is at work here.
And you had said that you were traveling to the tower when an explosion happened, so you never actually were there. You weren't in it or anything when it happened.
No, it was already damaged, and they had found her in the invulnerable orb. There was an incident where they were examining the tower, and their weight and shifting around caused it to roll down the cliff face and shatter 100 feet below. But other than that, little things. Corbin looks around. This isn't the tower. It's not right. This doesn't feel like the tower that I know it to be.
Just the
Feels
fact
like
that this one's broken.
Well, there's that. Very, very poignant of you to point that out, young monk. It's the fact that it has a foundation and it has permanency. The other tower didn't have that. The other tower didn't have any windows or any way of seeing inside of it. It was just that sheer rock structure with just a single point of entry at its base. Now, that would be the tower that you guys recognize back at Gnomeworks, as well as the one that you saw in the vision at Butcher's Block, when the huge wolf chieftain was taken in by Keothi. Those two towers sound a lot like what Corwin's describing.
Are the giant tracks still in the snow? Or it's probably gone by now?
It's been a long time. I mean, you kind of look around. You can give me a survival check to see if you notice any other tracks.
Quick, he's gone. Let's metagame.
Yeah.
Who is this stranger and his want for these towers?
I don't trust him. Even if there is some altruism involved, it could be
Hey, mate,
misdirected.
As soon
Sorry,
as, soon,
go ahead.
as soon as he turns on us,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna kill him. Be real easy.
What'd you get, Mara?
I got an 11.
11? It's been snowing recently between the ice and things melting, the wind and the snow. You don't see any immediate tracks other than the ones that you and the others have made.
Well, I've never been here before, so I guess I'll do a quick investigation, sweep
for it.
around, just see
Yeah.
if I noticed anything out of the ordinary.
I want to go to
28.
the entry to the teleportation room with the map and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, are we inside
Yes.
the tower or are we outside?
You're still outside.
Okay.
So who's going up to the base foundation to
I'll
go down into the teleportation room? Okay,
Inside.
so for Jet. Keen, what'd you get?
28.
28. You spend a good 15 minutes wandering the perimeter, the edge, the pathway up into the foundation. You come over to the edge of the cliff, looking down where the partially buried remains of the fractured tower are down below. Something catches your eye. A bit of shine as the last of light kind of reflects off the snow, and there's a slight glimmer of an object down about 100 feet below, partially buried by the remains of the tower that had rolled down the hill. And you're looking, and it looks to be metallic from your position, looking down. Gleams a bit.
I guess I'll go get it.
Start climbing down the side and kind of shuffle through the depth of like the depth of the shifting snow, and you get to the point where it is, and it seems buried. Looks to be a staff or something, like a rod, jutting out from underneath a piece of fractured stone.
Okay, yeah. I'll
Give me
uncover
a
it.
strength. Yeah, give me a strength check as you move aside the snow, and you realize it's kind of wedged in between two fractured pieces of stone.
What time of
Okay.
day is it, actually?
It's almost the end of the day.
Hour
Right.
to
Sun is
Like
setting
dusk.
and the moon is coming up. It's like dusk. Yeah.
So we're like in a camp here, is what we're saying.
Or if we can teleport, we'll go to teleport and can spend the night at the monastery.
Where it's warmer.
Strength. Not mine.
Where it's warmer.
13.
13 doesn't budge. Like it's loose a little bit, but you can't. It's very cold to the touch. And there is arcanic writing on it. It feels like a staff or a rod, something.
Okay. Can I use Mage Hand to like uncover it more and maybe give
You
myself a
kind of
little
bring out Mage
boost?
Hand and dust moves some more of the dirt, the gravel, more of the snow. I'll say because you did that, you could see where the one stone is wedging it between two other stones. Give me another strength check as you finally figure out which stone to move and see if that frees it up for you.
Okay.
Oh man, I wish it wasn't blurry so we could all see it.
No
It's a
way.
Oh,
zero.
we can see it.
That means a 1 minus 1, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh, that's doesn't
That-
budge.
Yeah. As you go to pull it out, you slip backwards and kind of like land on the snow, and you hear like a tremor as the entire cliff face gives way underneath your feet, and you watch the remains of all of it begin to tumble down and away from you, and you lose sight of the item, and about 100-foot wide, 10-foot section of avalanche is now breaking away from underneath your feet. Give me a dex save. The rest of you can hear a low rumble coming from the reverse side of the cliff where Keen had gone.
Dirty 20.
You get up, you scramble up, and as you come over the edge of where you climbed down, you're just watching the whole mountainside kind of settle another 50 feet down deeper into the cliff face that you were on.
So the rod or whatever it is just gone.
It's probably buried under all of that mess.
Well, that's embarrassing.
I'm gonna fly over and just be like, "What happened?"
And you kind of like, you can just see snow and ice pluming upwards out of the collapse.
Keen, and I'm gonna like try and like see if she's okay.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I see that it's very clearly the start of this avalanche was like right
Yeah,
where she is.
Right to my feet.
Yeah. What?
Yeah,
How? What are you doing?
Careful,
What
the ground here's not too stable and all.
All right. I'll
Make
bring
my
you
way
down or whatever.
For Jet, you're over at the foundation looking through the doorway. The familiar stairs are there. Mir and Gork, what are you two doing with your time?
I don't really know, honestly. I'm just kind of standing around.
Give me a perception check at least, since you're kind of on Overwatch then.
21.
21. So with that, Gork is keeping an eye out. Mira, what are you doing?
I'm just gonna look in the interior of Keothi's tower to see if there's anything that was searched for.
So as for Jet, you begin to go down below into the foundation. Mira is searching the fractured base that still sits on top of the foundation. Mira, give me investigation as you start looking around. For Jet, you come down the stairs into the familiar first floor that has another small set of stairs that leads down to a closed door. The door looks familiar to you. It's not locked. You open it, and sure enough, it's exactly as you remember it being. The sand table off to the left with all the different representations of where she had been, all the kind of like arcane laboratory equipment everywhere. Things are covered in a thin veil of ice since you were here before winter last time. So a lot of this, because the tower's fractured away, has been exposed to the elements a little bit. What'd you get, Mira?
17.
17. Looking around, you get the feeling that when this tower sheared off, it pulled most of its contents with it. However, buried under some fractured rock and ice, you find a map case that must have fallen off a peg at some point, got buried in some of the rock after the fracture, and maybe just wasn't noticed before. It's about 3 feet long, 6 inches in diameter, and you pick it up and it's heavy. That sounds like something's inside of it.
I'd like to examine the map case.
Okay. Give me investigation as you begin to do that.
Can I say that I have detect magic on at all times,
Okay.
and snow is not one of the things that blocks it.
No, there's very few things that block it.
So I could see 30. I could feel magical energy or observe magical, however that manifests, in 30 feet into the snow if I'm hovering over it.
Mhm. Question is, did Keen tell you about what she saw? Are you going down to the ruins to kind of see if there's anything down there, or
I don't know. I didn't hear. I thought I would have. I don't know if you said it or not when we were just now saying it. If like, oh, the snow here collapsed and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I would say yeah. I thought I saw something.
Well, okay. While Mira is doing her thing,
a little passive retcon? So Keen describes for you something she saw in the rock and ice underneath the ruins of the tower, the length of tower that rolled down the side of the hill. Describes it for you, and it sounds like it could be magical.
So as Mira's doing her thing, I'll just be like, strafing the area, trying to see if I can pinpoint it.
Okay. Give me investigation with advantage as you do that. Mira, what'd you get for investigation on the map case?
I got a 2.
2? It seems like an ordinary map case with some strange writing on it. It does have a clasp closing the lid. 21. Okay.
Come on.
Deep underneath all that rock and ice, Abraxas, you sense a magical item that is giving off School of Divination.
Okay.
So for Jet, you're down below. What are you doing down below at this point?
I wanted to look at the spots Keothi had pinpointed on her map. Now knowing where we found the books and where we think she's been, and try to interpret it with a little bit more context.
Yeah. Your own personal memory seems still intact. The points where you met the Yeti, all of these same points that you seem to remember, except where you know your monastery to be is currently marked on the sand table. There are 2 points of interest that are marked at that kind of like where the tundra, the mountains, and the forest all kind of come together in that single point, where the monastery is like built in that valley that overlooks into the Savalier and into the tundra, or the crystalline tundra, and then the great mountainscape that kind of looms up behind it. And she's got 2 points of interest marked there. One where you believe the monastery to be, and another one near the border of the wood and the tundra. Maybe give me a survival check as you examine the sand table, wondering if you could figure out displacement of the amount of space between the 2 points.
14.
It feels like maybe where your home would be located.
So if I were to draw the line of our adventure, like on the map, like everywhere we've gone, to the volcano, to the north, does it feel like at least some of the points of interest that she's dotted are following that line a little bit?
Feels like it.
Okay.
But she never really offered up insights as to her own journey between the points. But it all feels familiar. It all feels purposeful.
Cool.
Gork, as the last of the sunlight fades, down on the reverse side of the slope that leads down into another valley on the other side of the foundation on this edge of this precipice, you watch as a very large figure strolls across the landscape and then disappears behind some outcroppings that lead deeper into the valley below you.
How big does this thing look?
It was biped, maybe from this distance, maybe 20, 30 feet tall. And it was carrying something. You caught a glimmer of it for just a brief moment, and then it disappeared over the edge.
I'm gonna run back to the others. Whoever I can get to first. Who would that be?
Abraxas is down below looking for something. I would say Mira, because Keen and Abraxas are on the edge looking down. Frigid's down below in the foundation.
Oh wait, no.
Mira found the map case on the exposed portion of the fracture, so she'd be the first one you'd see.
Mira wasn't with us though when we were first here in the giant.
No.
All right. I'm gonna run on to Mira. Mira, come quickly.
What is it?
We need to find Frigid or Abraxas.
Frigid is downstairs.
Let's go to her. Come.
Is something going on?
Giant.
Then we'll make our way down.
There's a giant in the hills.
A giant?
It was carrying something. Yeah, I scurry as quickly down as I can. Frigid.
I'm sorry, a gork scurrying.
This is like a lot of metal.
I got like a bunch of really small steps, like come down the stairs.
Oh my goodness, I love it.
Oh, Frigid.
Mm-hmm.
There's a giant outside.
Make it go away.
Was it heading towards us, or?
It was down the other side into the valley. It was carrying something. I don't know what. We should get the others and go see what it is doing.
Is it?
I remember them saying that giants typically don't come to this area.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah. But like the last giant we found was me polymorphed. So, all right, cool. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's make it happen.
Eventually, Gork and Frigid and Mira, you come back out from underneath the foundation up on top. You can see Keen off to the left. Corwin is nearby Keen as the two of them are looking down where Abraxas seems to be looking for something. What are you doing, Abraxas? You know where it is, but it's pretty heavily buried.
I'm going to do something that I have not done before, and instead of
Perfect timing.
Yeah, sure. In the same way that I like I throw my hands down and then all of my little nano machines form a giant dragon. This time, they form a little construct of like a little guy, and I'm gonna summon construct. This is one of my
right now. No one can see you do this because darkness has kind of descended into that other side of the valley that you are currently examining.
Sure. This is it's a metal one because I can either do clay, metal, or stone. Metal feels on brand, and I'm just going to tell that guy, the little sucker, to dig, and I'm going to help. So it's like I'm providing my own assistant to help me.
So I'll say this actually. A lot of this is very loose ice and snow from it collapsing down from below. So it only takes about 5 minutes for it to like almost bore down to the spot that you point to it.
Mm-hmm.
It comes from underneath the rubble and ice and hands you a 3-foot long metal rod.
Interesting. Once I rest, I can identify this, but until then, it just looks cool.
Now above you, where Corwin and Keen are looking down, you can see Mir and Frigid and Gork have joined them. And Gork is frantically waving for you to come back up to the edge.
I kind of reabsorb my guy. He's still around, but I just reabsorb him and then just take off down.
He liquid crawls like into your collarbone.
Yeah, and then as soon as I land, I put him down again, and there's like a little guy. I don't know how he should look, but he's a little guy.
Little man.
Does he look like the gecko lizard? The gecko lizard?
Chibi and Abraxas.
Yeah, mini me.
It is a total chibi.
So Gork,
it's like a ditto
Abraxas
from Pokemon, so the eyes are just dots.
All Oh, it's an adipose. I got you.
Yeah.
So, as Abraxas, you make it back up to the edge. You quickly land, and Gork begins to fill you in on what he saw.
It was a giant down there, and I kind of point towards the outcrop.
The giants don't come up here.
Oh, it was something big, bipedal, carrying something.
Did the something look like it was heavy, or like was it struggling, or was it just like did it
It
not
looked like
weigh
it was just
anything?
carrying something big.
Big, bulky.
Something like that.
Aram.
How long would it take for what's his face, Colwyn, to send his little hawk eagle to go get a better look of it?
Oh, it wouldn't be that hard. I could send him down right now if you want.
Could you? That'd be so cool.
Yeah. Hey, Hector, see what's down there. He watches the eagle streaks down, travels for about 5 minutes, and then you lose sight of him. A few minutes goes by, a few more minutes goes by, and eventually reappears and lands on Corwin's shoulder. What'd you see, buddy? Fine, go ahead. And turns back into a rat, and then goes back to squeaking in his ear. So Hector just described 3 frost giants sitting in front of an exposed cavern. About halfway down into the valley, there's a footpath we could take, and it leads right up to the front of the cavern. And there's 3 frost giants currently eating a large bear over a fire.
Sounds like standard frost giant shit.
Well, that might have been what Gork saw them carrying. So yeah, I guess
Fair.
that kind of makes sense.
Okay.
Do we want to deal with this tonight, or
I don't think so.
Nah, they're
I think
just
we should
they're
go to
living their
Truth Seeker.
lives.
Does this guy? What was his name? The wizard guy.
Corwin?
Corwin. Do we need space to teleport, or are we?
No. I mean, I need about a 10-foot diameter place for me to put the
Yeah.
circle up, and I can do it.
What is of importance here? Like those frost giants, does that cave look like their home, or is it like the entry to a deeper
Unfortunately, my Fey connection with Hector doesn't go beyond a certain point.
thing? Oh, right.
My familiar connection, so it's just based on how he described it. He didn't go into the cave.
Well,
The books
we
are paramount, right? And the Truth
Yeah.
Seekers is where the books are, or a
And-
book.
Keen, can you do your book locator and see?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be by the Truth Seekers, right?
Okay. Yeah, I'll see if I sense a book in the direction of the monastery,
Mhm.
and maybe just in case if there's anything in the
Check it
direction
out.
of the frost giants.
You definitely sense a pull towards the monastery, but something's kind of interfering with it. I need y'all to believe it's 2005 and Leroy Jenkins, those frost giants. It's right up Gork's path.
I'll say, yeah, that I can sense the books. There's some weird interference, but I'm still pretty sure that's not the Truth Seekers.
I would vote Truth Seekers then over Cavern
I mean, we can come back here.
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we could just go down there now and see what it's in the cave.
Because the world's ending.
It's
We've
a
got
variety of things going on.
so
right
many books. How many books do we have?
Yeah, I
Just
don't want to get distracted.
In my backpack.
now. No,
There's
we have
6
6.
in my backpack.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other pole of your ability key
Mm.
was in Anchor's Weight.
Okay.
That's where the other one supposedly would be.
Right.
Right.
Okay. So the books are still where we think they are. I'm not sure if the frost giants have anything to do with that.
I think the one that we saw a long time ago, Gork and Abraxas, was honestly, I think it's the one that I was polymorphed into, and it was planting the stuff in the snow. because
Oh.
we saw it go over by
Damn,
Brookspire.
he's 6 and inspiration for that one.
Whoa.
That was some deep thought on
What?
that one.
So you were putting. Oh.
What was the old you planting?
The meteor, right?
Oh.
Or there was a rock that had my writing on it.
That was the
too?
meteor.
That
That
was the meteor.
meteorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I think it was planting the meteorite.
How weird.
Interesting.
That's the one I think we saw 7 months ago.
And you think that the you. This is a lot. Again, I never said thinking fourth dimensionally would be easy.
At this point, I've given up. Right? I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm good at finding clues, and other than that, it's like
Right.
point me at what needs to die.
I'm trying to keep up. I do not keep up nearly as well as Abraxas does, but
It's like,
All right.
I've got some
Interesting.
street smarts, but I don't. This is beyond me.
this is some crazy streets. So anyway, I would vote Truth Seekers still.
I'll vote Truth Seekers.
Yeah. If it's not a dead giveaway, if it's not like obvious book here, then no. Then we need information. We either need information or whatever that we can find there will tell us what's the next important thing.
I think
We-
so,
we're
right?
not-
And
we're-
if they're like in a cave and eating a bear, it's like, well, they'll probably still be here tomorrow.
Right.
yeah.
And it's winter now, right? So would frost giants like migrate with the winter? Maybe.
I don't know. Does it work that way?
Are they migratory creatures?
I would think maybe sometimes. I don't.
Hard to know. You can give me a history check, see if that's in your catalog of understanding how they behave.
Sure. 8.
Some are tribal and some are nomadic. It's hard to know for sure.
Interesting.
Okay, well, I should warn you that Allura did say we might not get a warm homecoming at the church. But
Why not?
she hasn't been able to scry there, so she's suspicious that something might be happening.
You're with me though, so it should be fine.
Shh. Are they usually this secretive?
I mean, you gotta be part of the cool kids club before you can really talk about it. So
Mm.
a little bit. But I
it'll
really
be fine.
wouldn't be too worried about it.
Yeah, we have Frigette to vouch for us.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
I mean, you guys have been indispensable in this journey, every last one of you. So, I mean, Colwyn, I'm sorry, but you haven't. I don't know you much.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
That's fair. You've only known me like 3 hours, so I'm cool
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah, you've got 21.
Oh, and that's the
more
other
years,
thing
so
is
that's
we
fine.
only have Corwin for 24 hours, so
What?
Mhm.
21. You have me
20
for 21 more.
21 hours.
Yeah.
It feels more
Yeah.
important to bring him to the Truth Seekers than it is the Giants.
Fair.
Yeah, about that. Can you? So, Virgette, you
Mhm.
work for them?
Yeah, I'm part of their order.
What's a truth seeker?
Yeah, I mean,
What is happening? Yeah.
yeah, I mean, Corbin just kind of gets some strange, kind of like he pulls his hood down and. Okay, so
Hmm.
I don't know necessarily what these books are that you're looking for. I mean, it's your business, not my business, right?
Mhm.
I'm on this journey for something else. I'm trying to find this tower.
Mhm.
What book are you like? What? Why a book? What? I don't. That might be the part I don't understand.
The
I'm gonna, I guess, do an insight check to see if I trust with letting him know about the books.
yeah,
You give me an insight check if you want.
yeah. If there's like like he
I
just
will use
legitimately wants to know,
Mayra's
or if there's
token that
kind
she
of
gave me, and
Ooh.
automatically succeed on my insight check.
Nice.
Yeah.
He seems genuinely curious. You guys have talked about it kind of subtext wise and in the background of his own kind of like being around all of you over the last couple hours. He seems genuinely interested.
They're associated to Keothi and her concern with the Calamity.
All right. You know what? If I can help, I can help. Hopefully it'll get me closer to the tower. For sure.
Yeah.
So, you want me to do the
and don't touch them
transportation?
because you might die.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Don't touch them because you might
Don't
die.
touch.
Didn't one of you just say you had some of them on you? How are you not dying?
It's
Or is it
better.
not on you?
You know how I said that it's a lot easier if you just don't think about it.
Yeah, you know, I'm going to take some advice on that one this time and just go with the flow. So, do we want me to teleport tonight, or are we crashing here and moving out in the morning? I can get us there.
Yeah.
Well,
It'd be
within
nice to spend the
proximity,
night
anyways.
at the
I'm gonna
monastery if they're gonna let us in.
I would say they would. I fully support and believe that my people are your people. They're gonna be hospitable.
Yeah. I think I would prefer that over this cold,
Camping out and with some doors.
dilapidated tower.
But I mean, I know that some of you guys have been really cautious about my believing in, the thing I've been studying for the last decade of my life. So I would understand and respect your choice to camp here for being cautious and safe. But
I'm curious to see where you're from. So
Same.
All right, well, give me 10 minutes. And
Nice.
Corwin kind of like breaks out some material components, some other kind of like items that he uses. And over the course of the next 10 minutes, in a bare area of the foundation of it's dark out, and it's now got that kind of just lamplit kind of vibe of shadow light, kind of giving him the space and opportunity to do this teleportation circle. The 10 minutes goes by relatively quickly, and he goes, all right, brings his hands together, slams them, does an invocation. You watch as the teleportation circle flares into arcanic rune and light, and in the middle of it, a tear opens up. Quick, got 6 seconds.
hustle on
One-
through.
Whoop. And then my little guy goes
Come on
clunk,
through.
clunk, clunk, clunk.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Now, and then Corin follows. Now, he's powerful enough, but I need somebody to roll a D100.
Not it.
I'll do it. I'll do
Go
it.
work.
Go for it.
I don't know if I
Where
have a
is my other-
200.
High risk, high reward.
Where is my?
Ooh, it's a
other-
race. Whomever finds theirs first.
I got it.
I'm still gonna roll mine just for giggles.
16.
16. Okay. There's a flash of arcane light and a warm feeling and a sense of falling. You could feel the energies kind of like consume you and pull you down, and everybody lands in waist deep snow. Except for Jet, it's head deep snow. And
Hey, I could stand on top of it usually. I've got monk shit. I evolved to be able to stand on things.
And it's like, as you guys all land in the snow, almost as quickly as it happens, there's Jet, kind of Legolas in it. Like, she quickly crawls out of the hole, and then she's sitting up on the edge of the snow. All of you are about 300 feet outside of the monastery. It looks very familiar to you, for Jet. 3-story structure with 2 towers, one on the right side, one on the back side of the structure. Many windows on the second story, windows on the first story. The main gated entrance, the great iron fence that surrounds it with the medicinal gardens and all the botany-style gardens that exist outside of the space. Except it's dark. Not a single light shines. And there's no sign of any movement, no sign of anyone being there.
Do they rest early for Jet?
I simply refuse to land and fall, and I'm just like hovering over everybody. That doesn't that doesn't look right.
It's a little odd,
Yeah, it looks like there's
I
nobody here.
suppose. Maybe the candles they had were just like at the end of their life and burnt out
Maybe.
early.
Maybe. I keep forgetting this wizard guy's name.
Corwin.
Corwin. Send your
Corwin?
is your familiar still a rat or is it a hawk?
It could be either or. I could change it.
Sure. Let's go do some scouting, and then as we try to get closer, and I'm gonna try and get like a bird's eye drone surveillance.
Okay. And are you and both Hector doing this at this point?
I mean, I'm not telling him to do it. I'm just saying I don't know if he can, if there's a range thing, but I'm definitely
Well,
gonna
there's
shoot
only a
out
range
ahead
if
and
I
above.
warg into it. If I try to warg into it,
Oh, sure.
I'm
Then
limited up to 150 feet. But I can command it to go scout and bring back whatever it sees.
Get him close enough to watch me, but not do the scouting because I don't want to. Like
Okay.
if something goes wrong, I don't want to be out of visual range.
So you got it. And
And then
he spends a few minutes and apologizes profusely, and then turns back into a hawk and follows Abraxas as both Hector and Abraxas kind of begin to follow the thermals down and a little bit closer away from the hillside of the monastery. Abraxas, give me a perception check with advantage as you begin to get a little bit closer.
Perception check with advantage.
I'd be just puddling in the snow, like
Oh,
making a little
shit.
snowman.
Natural 20 for a
Through-
32.
Whoa! Dang.
He
I
can
rolled
see
a
through walls.
19 and a 20. And this,
Wow.
I can see through time.
Everything's a particle.
did it. Okay. I see
Bridget,
all.
how are you feeling?
I see all. How am I doing? It's
Yeah.
fine. I mean, I would have just walked right in because it's my home, but Raxus seemed pretty set on
Well,
scouting, so I guess I'll
I'm
wait.
assuming you guys are trying to walk through the snow.
Yeah.
And you have little legs, and I'm
It's
just
way
gonna take a
faster
little
than you
while.
are. So I'm just we're all heading the same direction. I'm just way ahead of you guys.
Right. So you guys are casually making your way down the hill slope. You're about maybe a couple thousand feet away from the front of the monastery. But Abraxas, you and Hector make the journey a lot faster. That's when you begin to see shutters that are kind of it's a bit windy. It's not snowing, but the shutters on the windows are like like you can see that the main double oaken doors are wide open. The upper door of the right door is broken off the hinge and leaning slightly down on the stairwell. You can see that on the ground floor, there's markings, but from this height, hard to tell for sure what it is in the darkness. But there's something down there.
Huh.
You can see like ripped curtains fluttering out the windows as the breeze courses through the different open windows. That's when you realize some of the windows are even broken outward and some are broken inward. And there's something very dark streaked along the side of the building under some of the windows.
Very clearly struggles have happened.
And Hector's above you circling while you're
Mhm,
circling and scouting the monastery
mhm,
in kind of like a closer position.
mhm.
And you're immediately hit with a familiar wave of nausea. You just feel like there's something here that you can just feel its presence, and it's just
Bad
sickening
news.
to your stomach.
I want to fly like kind of like a down, like down to the front door to take a look, but
Okay.
not. I'm not like hanging out there. Like I'm gonna do a thing to like look inside, and see if I see anything immediate, like bodies or people or movement or anything like that. But then I'm gonna bolt. I'm gonna like go fly back to prevent. Whoa.
Sorry, I forgot to turn it down. My bad.
And then you hear music.
I'm gonna
It's crazy.
like zoom in, and I want to like. There's something. I zoom into. Well, what do I see when I drop down to look if I see?
You ride the collapsing thermal because now that's late at night, or not late, but it's dark, so the heat's not emanating up like it normally does. So the thermals are a bit thinner and harder to use to glide. So you kind of coast down and your wings are flapping as you hover there to look through the main door. And that's when you see the kind of frozen visceral remains of skin, meat, organs that have frozen outside. So you're not really sure how long they've been here. You can see like dried and frozen splotches of blood covering the entire entrance, and maybe 2 or 3 very heavily damaged bodies in the immediate hallways you look in. And it's just a gore trail of frozen blood all the way into the hallway.
Yeah. And I like kind of like do a zoom back and then turn to like kind of catch him, like, hey, it's and I like kind of land like right in, like do like a full on like air brake stop in front of Frigette, and I'm like, hey, it's not good.
Hector lands on Corwin's shoulder. What'd you see, buddy?
I need you to be okay.
He looks, Corwin's like, kind of was about to say something, then sees Abraxas talking to Frigette, and immediately kind of goes introvert, just doesn't say anything. Mira,
What do you mean not good?
as Abraxas and Frigette are conversing, there's a shiver that runs up your spine. Erebus in your mind. We have to go now.
What's
we have to
going
get out
on?
of here now, Mira.
Something's wrong. And she's going to say out to the group, something's not right here.
Do I still sense the book?
It's here, but something holds it. Something has it. And as you focus in on the book, all of you watch as Keen drops to all 4, her hands and knees, and begins to retch blood out of her mouth
Keen!
and onto the ground. And she collapses unconscious onto the ground in her own viscera, kind of like splashed up against her face.
Can
And her
I?
eyes rolled up in her head, and now she's beginning to spasm.
Can I go up
Whoa.
to her and touch and cast lesser restoration?
It stabilizes her. Her eyes, her spasms stop, her retching stops, and she goes back to kind of breathing a more even state. Her eyes flutter open.
And
And
I'll cast Divine Sense as well.
what's the range on Divine Sense for you?
Let's see.
So am I
60
awake
feet.
now?
60 feet. Keen, your eyes are open
60 feet, that is not behind total cover.
up. Okay.
Something has the book.
And I look at Frigette. It's still there. It's still there.
Gork, as your Divine Sense crawls out in front of you, down as close as it could get, it gets close to its edge of its maximum length. And all of you just hear the most guttural laugh that seems to emanate from all the open windows, the open doors, and it echoes out. And it just flows up. Erebus is now in a panic in your mind, Mira. You
What is
actually
here?
feel yourself kind of backing away without understanding why. There's so much fear in Erebus at this point. He is almost compelling you to run.
I don't think we should stay here. Something is bad here. something foul.
We gotta go and find somewhere that we can rest and then come back, because these are my people. I can't not come back at the least. Right?
It may not be here if we leave.
We
We
need.
have the book.
If
I'm
we
gonna
can
look-
make it bleed, we can make it die. And I'll cast protection of evil and
Guys,
good.
guys, what is that? You watch as massive clouds of plague flies, millions of them, start disgorging from the windows and doors and forming up into this like massive cloud that is gradually circling and surging around and in and out of the monastery. The guttural laughter getting louder.
I would like to cast. I'm gonna cast protection from good and evil. On myself,
Okay.
and I am gonna head into the temple. I'm gonna just go
Whoa!
straight in
Gork!
the door.
Fridget, I'm gonna turn to Fridget and I'm like, these are your people. I'm behind you 100%.
Then let's fucking go.
All right.
Guys,
I'd like turn around to have you hop on my shoulders.
Mage
Corwin's
armor.
Corin's like, fuck. Are we really doing this?
I'm already in.
So Cork's like
Yeah,
running
we're-
down the hillscape. Abraxas grabs for Jet.
Fridget says,
Tina, Mira,
Fridget's on
and
my back
Corwin
with
are
Baymax.
watching
Yeah.
the three of them run down the hillside towards the entrance of the monastery. The huge swarms of insects gathering, swarming.
I have a bad feeling.
And now the smell of rot for the three of you approaching the monastery.
I'll say to Mir, I'm sorry, I cannot leave them behind. I'm supposed to help. So, but you can stay here. I'll start following.
Oh, son of I swear to God, this reminds me of Elof when he... And you watch Mira as Corwin puts both his feet into the ground, invokes polymorph. You watch as a 30-foot tall Arctic ape stands there. And he looks at the others getting closer to the monastery. And the ape puts his hand flat in front of you.
She'll step on the hand.
And as you step on the hand, he brings all the fingers around you, places you up into the tuft of his shoulder, starts loping down the hillside towards the others. Those of you running down, you can hear behind you as this massive Arctic ape is loping behind you. For Gork, Abraxas, and for Jet, when you enter the swarm of plague flies, they're in your ears, in your mouth, in your eyes. I need the three of you to make Constitution saves, please.
How far are they from me?
Oh, they're not far. You're in it.
Okay.
The swarm is engulfing everything.
Is this magic? Or is it just nature?
You give me Arcana or Nature check. Your choice, Mira.
I do have protection of good versus evil. Will that help me at all in this situation, or no? Is it just physical bugs?
This feels like a physical manifestation.
Okay. Yeah.
Is it
Uh,
poison or disease at all? 'Cause I'm
No.
immune to those.
No, this is a
It's-
little different.
nat 20 for 28.
Okay.
I got
27 for me.
What'd you get, Abrax?
27.
For Jet?
I got a 5.
So Gork and Abraxas are clawing at them, pulling them out of the different places the flies are trying to get into. Unfortunately for you, for Jet, they overwhelm you. They begin to crawl into your mouth, your ears, your nostrils as you begin to suffocate.
Okay.
Abraxas, you can hear for Jet
Um,
that she can't breathe.
I am going to
Keen, you then cross over into the swarm. I need a con save from you, Keen.
Is this an area effect by any chance?
It would be, but it's con, not dex.
Oh, right. Okay. Ooh, 4.
4. You are beginning to suffocate, Keen. You immediately enter the swarm and you're batting at everything, and then you feel a massive hand grab you and pull you up onto the back alongside Mira. Mira, go ahead and give me a con save with advantage because you are currently riding Corwin's form.
I'm going to cast protection from good and evil for Jet, so that
You cast it on her.
it says aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead.
Where did they go?
So they have disadvantage on any attack rolls. I'm assuming it will protect her from it.
I got a 7, but I feel like I would have casted a spell before I got in there.
You'd have enough time before you
Yeah.
crossed over that threshold.
So
But
how
being
far?
on Corwin's back, he's moving really fast.
Yeah.
Oh.
How far away is everyone? With
I
Corwin
would
gaining
say
speed.
Corwin really closed the gap. He was
Okay.
able to catch up with Keen and pull up Keen up onto his back. And then I would say the others are about 30, 40 feet in front of you.
Okay. Then I would like to cast Insect Plague as well.
Oh,
I figure fight fire with
bug
fire.
on bug action.
So, what I was thinking is that it's a range of 300 feet, and when she casts it, all of a sudden you see like glowing lights appear, and then they just start swirling around you guys, creating like a barrier around you.
Ooh, I love it. How long does it
So-
last for?
Let me see, because like I want it to be like it comes on as like stars at first, and
Almost
then,
like a shield effect.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. How long does it last for?
It lasts so 20 feet radius. The sphere remains for the duration and its area is lightly 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay.
And
so
then-
with that, as Mira brings up her own swarm, it begins to burn and strike at the aberrations around it. For Jet, you immediately feel the swarm like leave your body, and you manage to get your breath back as these things were trying to choke you to death after Abraxas casts on you. All of you feel the ape come to a stop amongst you, and then the swarm that Mira has summoned is now colliding with the plague flies and creating this small kind of like bubble of protection around you. You hear her yell out over the din of the swarm, 10 minutes. The ape, the ape looks a little frustrated, takes Mira and Keen off of its shoulders and places it down with Gork, Abraxas, and Forget. Gork, you're still running. Full tilt.
Yeah.
You pass out of the protection, you keep running towards the front, and now the ape, you can feel the ape running behind you. And the ape leaps over you and lands and crashes through the front of the monastery. Knocks in the entire front of the facade of the monastery, collapsing it inward as a massive plume of just swarms of plague insects come out of it. And there it's like on its knees near the entrance as you come running up, Gork. The others are behind you, protected by Mira's magic. A little further behind, she's gradually pacing, coming up behind you. The interior of the monastery exposed. It's many inches deep of coagulated frozen blood all throughout the monastery, except for one stairwell that seems to lead down into the basement structure. And the last of the swarm is now up and just swarming about.
But not as condensed.
Correct. Kind of spread out.
I
The
fly.
ape turns back into Corwin as you guys come up. Gork, what are you doing? Because you're moving the fastest.
I'm going to wherever the source is.
Okay. You start running through the frozen, coagulated viscera. You get to the stairs, and you guys watch as Gork plunges down the stairs.
Have you been here before, Fridget?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she knows it well.
You know it well.
Yeah,
And
the stairs that Gork just went down leads to the vaulted library below.
I'm just gonna be like, guide me, and as I'm flying, and then like,
Mira's maintaining the protective bubble. Keen's in front of Mira. Abraxas has got Fridget, and the four of you now follow up to the stairs where Corwin is. Corwin's wiping shit like blood and like flies and maggots out of his mouth and face, and immediately gets the protection of Mira's like plague swarm that's swarming around. And you guys start gradually making your way towards the where the stairwell is and where you saw Gork quickly disappear. Gork, give me a perception check as you get down into the darkness below.
When Abraxas and I fly by, I don't know how intact any of these bodies are, but can I like recognize anybody?
Everything that you see is flesh, blood, meat, and organ. No sign of any bones or skeletal remains at all.
Okay.
And no heads.
Oh my god.
Okay. Is there like torn uniforms and clothing or anything amongst that?
There are. I'd say your passive would pick up on it's all monostat. It's like all I can't pronounce it because of my allergies. It's all monotheistic or whatever that word is that describes their uniforms, their attire. Some are scribes, monastic. Thank you. I always try to put a TH in front of it. It's all monastic, right? Some are scribe uniforms. Some are teaching uniforms. All the different kind of like folk that you would expect to be in the monastery.
So are we making our way inside right now?
Yeah, currently you're moving through the destroyed remains of the front facade that now the swarm is back out again and swarming. And as you get a little bit closer, a little bit deeper in, the swarm is now behind you. As you get to the top of the stairs. Gork, what'd you get?
22.
22. As you race down the stairs into a hallway, it is knee-deep in bones, fractured femurs, rib cages, collarbones, forearms, hands, all flayed, and almost as if maybe these insects have been feasting off these bones. At the very end of the hallway, you could see a doorway that's pushed in, and there's a darkness there that you can't see any further into. And you're slowly beginning to wade through these bones that are about 2 feet deep. You can feel them peel off to your right and your left. The rest of you see this the moment you get to the top of the stairs and you gradually make your way down. And now you can see Gork at the end of a 60-foot long hallway that looks familiar to you, Fridget. The end of that hallway is the entrance to the scribe room. And that gives you access to all the different study chambers and all the chapel rooms and religious rooms, including the main hallway that'll take you in to the reliquary room where the where all the books are said to be kept. But you know, on your way to that reliquary room, there's a different side passage to a plain door that you were told not to go into when you were very young.
That's where I'm trying to get everybody to go to.
Okay. Gork, as you get up to the doorway looking in, it's dark to the point that you can't see. And another wave of nausea hits everybody. A familiar laugh. Kind of gurgles out. This just like wet, sickening laugh that gets deeper, and now it's much louder that you're deeper inside the monastery.
Erebus, stay with me. And she'll keep on going on the path with everyone.
Okay. Corwin is literally terrified. His face white, but he's already muttering protection invocations on his lips. You could see a curling ball of flame beginning to finger and form around his hand as he continues to follow the rest of you down this hallway. Gork, you're still in the lead.
Is the wave of nausea from the smell, or is it from like the evil?
It's that oppressive dark energy.
Got it.
Evil.
Evil.
Gork, you're still ahead of the main group, but you're standing in an entrance that is pitch black.
Let's see. I don't have.
Gork, give me a dex save, please.
Hold on. Okay. Oof. 14.
14. You feel something coil around your ankle out of the darkness. Those of you making your way through the hallway of bone, you watch as Gork is sucked into the dark room. Just he's there 1 minute like he's looking, and then you just watch him get pulled into the darkness.
Brilliant.
Into a room, you said?
Yeah, at the end of the hallway is a
Oh.
doorway, and it's pitch black in that space beyond. Forget would know it to be the scribe chamber, the main chamber they usually would copy books, copy down documents, or make copies of anything that's asked of them to do as part of their work.
Who doesn't have dark vision? Okay.
Well, this doesn't feel like that kind of darkness.
I'm curious. I'm just gonna reach up and I'm gonna grab like a rock and then cast light on it and throw it in there as I'm running. So I'm like taking it and I'm like sending it even further into the room with light, and I want to see what happens when it breaches.
The minute
we're
it
right
crosses the
behind
threshold, it winks out.
Winks out. Got it.
Gork, you're being hung upside down as something has got you by the ankle. You're hovering over a 30-foot radius of mouth of teeth and tongue, and open maw is below you, and you're being lowered into it by the ankle. Other tentacles kind of like coming in and out of your immediate vision, but the blackness, the darkness is so inky, you can't see beyond being held. You're not even sure. It's a little almost like you're kind of like you're disorientated. Like you don't know up and down, and this thing is lowering you towards its mouth.
Can I make an attack on the tentacle?
Go
Actually,
for it. Go for it. Swing at it.
yeah. You know what? Make an attack at the tentacle. I will have blood.
Is my wall of insects still up?
I would say by the time you get into the hallway, it would dissipate. That'd be 10 minutes.
Okay.
23 to hit.
23. Your sword
And ice.
slams into the tentacle. Go ahead and roll damage.
I'm gonna smite. 2.
Okay. Go for it.
Smoking.
I will smoten. So smite is 2d8, 3 at 3rd level. I'm smiting at 3rd level.
Okay.
Nice.
2d12. Hold on. Where's my other d12? I don't have one.
Paladin doing paladin thing.
Oh yeah, paladin and paladin things. That is a crap roll. 6, 7, 8 slicing damage,
Okay.
and then
Or slashing, depending on your
slashing.
Slash.
perspective. Slicing.
So we're already in the room?
Not yet.
Okay.
Everybody else is in the hallway approaching the doorway. You just saw Abraxas throw like something through the doorway with the light effect on it, and it immediately gets swallowed up. You can't see anything in the room that Gork was just pulled into. Gork is having this experience somewhere in that chamber at this point,
It's a 15 radiant,
which you could double. It is vulnerable to radiance.
30. 30 radiant.
Any dice roll is doubled. Your
Okay,
bonus is normal.
What is the what did I say for slashing damage?
6.
6. So 36. 14, so another 28. I need to write this down, y'all. I'm not gonna remember these numbers. 36 plus 28 is
64.
64.
You watch as the
Well,
tentacle
I got more.
Oh, you do?
I got 3 more.
Yeah.
Oh,
Holy moly.
15 for another 30. And then, because I smote at 4th level, which gives me 5d12.
Wow.
And that last one is a 10 for 20 total.
So that is 114 points of damage. As you slam into the tentacle, you watch as the radiant energy courses from it down into the depths below. And you watch as this creature gyrates in pain. And it recoils and immediately lets you go as you fall into its mouth. And you feel yourself land into a wet, sticky surface of this massive maw that is shrieking and trembling in pain. You can feel the radiant nature of your attack coursing through its body as its mouth closes on you.
I'm going
Give
to
me a strike save, please, Gork. Go ahead, Abraxas.
Well, as we fly into the room, like, I mean, you're guiding me into the room. I'm gonna fly into the room, and I'm just going to cast guiding bolt, and I'm going to use my restore balance ability so that I do not roll at disadvantage.
Okay.
It removes.
So give me a regular roll. Unfortunately, you can't see anything unless you activate your true sight.
I
Or
can't
if you have to
see.
detect good or evil. It's inky black. There's
I'm
no
using
it's
my
a magical darkness.
Right, but I'm using my magical ability to restore balance as like a guiding hand to balance. So I don't want to take the turn to activate it. So
That's fair. So you
I'm
just
using-
randomly just
blast
send the
shield down,
guiding
use
bolt.
the force Luke, all that stuff.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Gork, what'd you get for your strike save?
Natural 20 for a total of 30.
Nice.
Nice.
Take
Wow.
half of 84 points of force damage.
40.
So 42 points of force damage.
I rolled
As
a
the
9.
mouth attempts to close on you, but you've got your arms and your body like preventing the mouth from completely closing and crushing you.
I rolled a 19 to hit.
Something sparks. Gork, you feel the mouth gyrate open. Tentacles are flailing around you, Gork, in and out of the inky darkness. That'll definitely hit. Go ahead and roll damage. Double your dice rolls if it's radiant.
It is absolutely radiant.
Do we hear any reactions coming from the...
You could now hear something massive screeching in guttural pain.
Okay.
Doesn't sound like the same voice of the guttural laugh, but this is something else that maybe is either guarding this space, protecting it, and emanating this like deep inky darkness around it. And right
So
now,
that's-
Braxis and Forget are in the room with Gork.
10 plus 15. So 25 points of radiant damage. And it is now glowing
The
for...
entire room sparkles for a brief moment. The inky darkness goes to absorb it. As Mir and Keen stop at the very edge of the entry point, Corwin brings his hands together, forces an energy into the room, and you watch as the dispel effect kicks in, and the inky darkness collapses in. The scribe room is a wreck. It is barely what it used to be for Jet. All of the pedestals and desks and everything have been destroyed. A huge gaping mound of rock and the visceral remains of individuals and animals kind of all around this great multi-tentacled beast with its tentacles flailing out its great maw. And in its maw, you can see Gork holding onto teeth, trying to keep the mouth open. For Jet, what do you want to do now? You can see Keen and Mira, you're up next.
Can I...
Before you go, Abraxas, go ahead. What? No, go ahead.
in the moment that I could see it, I would also quicken a sacred flame.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
When I can see it, so it has to roll a dex save, which
That's a 12.
yeah. So it's gonna take.
Forget, you're on Abraxas' back as he does this. What do you want to do?
So is the creature like still inside of the room, or
It
because when I
is
was
the
first
room.
imagining it, I was like, the
It's-
entire
it's-
floor is just the mouth.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
it is the room. It's
It is.
created a lair here, and it's destroyed the entire chamber.
Okay.
The body of the creature is buried underneath rubble and debris, and there's dozens of these tentacles hanging around, lashing out in pain.
That is 23 points of radiant damage. I doubled the dice roll.
Okay.
Or rolled twice.
So if it's like mostly mouth, then can I see like a uvula or anything? Kind of vulnerable like that?
Go do
It's
it.
mostly mouth.
I mean, you can see that Gork is like hanging onto its teeth, trying to keep its mouth open.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's your passive perception?
13.
Yeah, hard to tell without taking some time to try to look. And things are moving quickly.
Yeah. I'm going to cast my own guiding bolt, and I'm going to aim it past Gork into the mouth in general.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
Okay.
And now that it's lit, it's a normal roll.
24 to hit.
24 will hit. Roll your dice and double it.
Yay.
I also have a thing called favored foe, which means I can tag this is a ranger thing that I always forget that I have. So that's another 1 point of damage. But
Okay.
it is now marked by me as
Hashtag foe.
foe.
That's cool.
I rolled 20 radiant damage, so 40.
Okay. Mara and Keen, what are you two doing at this point? See Gork in the mouth. Abraxas is flying over it. Just cast Sacred Flame and Guiding Bolt into it. Forget's on his back, and she just cast Guiding Bolt down into the mouth. Gork, you watch as this streak of a bolt goes right by you, crashes into the mouth of the creature. The teeth open up even more, giving you a little bit more room to shift around. Mara, what do you want to do?
Oh, I don't know. Keen, you go first. I'm like pointing at her.
Keen, you're
Get him.
Let me see.
I mean, I'm all down for a good time, but this seems a little bit ridiculous. And then Corin puts his hand on Keen's shoulder, goes guidance.
Guidance.
And we still haven't rested, right?
No,
Yeah.
only
Short
on his
rest.
Short
shoulders.
rest
That's it.
only, so I didn't get all my spells back.
Gork decided to go ham.
Ham.
Yeah, so I'll go up to it and use the fang to
Hey,
have at it and
Gork,
also
what's
sneak
better
attack.
for miniature printing, PLA or ABS? Probably ABS, huh? Of course,
You're
he's
muted.
Off the top of my head, I don't necessarily think one is better than the other. I'll have to get back to you on that.
Okay,
I
please
think
do.
they're
I know
about
you've
the
got
same.
some skill there. Go ahead, Keen.
Okay, here we go. Oh no. 12.
12. And what'd you cast?
I didn't. I'm using the fang to
Oh, are you going down into the chamber and getting the base with it?
yeah.
Yeah, you dodging the tentacles as you do, and you slash out with Fang, and you feel it bounce off the kind of like thick rubbery hide of one of the tentacles. Give me a dex save as you do that. And this is something you can see, so you have advantage.
Oh, okay. Advantage.
Man.
23.
23. You're now dodging and ducking and moving around these tentacles that are attempting to swipe at your midriff and your legs and your feet, trying to grab at you and restrain you, but you're dodging around them at this point.
Okay.
Mara. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Keith.
Then I will also use sorcery points to quicken a spell and cast what's it called? Word of Radiance, since now I'm in base.
Nice.
So that is con 17 save.
That's right. Well, that's the one thing it does have a good number on.
Mm.
That is 10 plus 5, a 15. That'll fail.
Ooh, all
Did
right.
not roll that great. If you roll any dice, double it because it is radiant.
24 radiant damage.
Is that doubled already?
That's the doubled, yeah.
Okay. Good to know. This thing's already taken almost 200 points of damage. Over 200 points of damage. In fact,
Once you learn its
Yeah.
weaknesses.
Yeah, no shit. Mira, anything you want to do before I go back to Gork?
So everybody's on base with it?
Keen
Pretty
is at the
much.
base, dodging the tentacles, slashing out and casting. Abraxas and Frigette are flying above it, casting down into it. Gork is semi-trapped in its mouth, holding its teeth apart, and it looks like he's getting ready to do something.
I'm gonna cast geese on it. Gaze.
Geese, I think that takes a certain amount of time to cast, though.
Oh, it's 1 minute.
Yeah.
Fine. Then I will scoot to an area where nobody is in range of my spell. And actually, sorry guys.
Go Goku and Moonbeam that fucker.
I will cast Wither and Bloom on it.
Okay,
So-
what's the con save?
18.
That is 12 plus 5, 17. That will just
Ooh.
fail.
All right. And so it will take 10 necrotic damage, and I get to choose someone within range to heal 1d6.
Just about everyone's in range.
Yeah. Jeepers, where did it go?
I'm not hurt yet.
Yeah, I think Gork is, though.
Gork is definitely injured, yes.
You heal for 5.
I mean, you are in the mouth of the beast. Probably
Right,
the
and it-
most at risk.
And it will stay up. Doesn't say. 10
Corwin
foot
comes alongside you, Mare, as the two of you are kind of back up and against the wall of the destroyed scribe chamber while everyone else is engaging it. Corwin brings his hands together yet again. And as he does, a sphere comes running out of his hand and streaks with a green-purple streak. It slams into the mouth of the creature, and you just watch as a gravity well begins to form. And you watch as bone, teeth, and tentacle are beginning to get shredded and pulled into the gravity well. As he does 31 points of force damage, and he's currently concentrating on Event Horizon at this point. Gork, what are you doing?
I am going to. If I look down into its maw, what do I see?
You just see its gullet go deep and deep and deep till you can't see any deeper.
All right,
And the entire gullet is like the Sarlacc pit, just thorny teeth all the way down.
Does
Oh.
it smell bad?
Oh, it smells.
Get a mint.
I don't want to do this.
I cast mint.
Gork does the ultimate Dutch oven.
I have some things in mind. All right,
It's
Can
just like
I-
blowing on his face. He's like tearing up.
I cast resilient sphere on myself and let me fall in.
Ooh,
Whoa.
I like that. As you cast Resilient Sphere, you tuck into a ball form and you go down its gullet.
Oh my god, you are a mint. Go!
Gork is a mint.
Oh my
With that,
god.
for everybody else, all the tentacles suddenly get active and lash out at everybody. So, Keen, you have 3 tentacles coming at you.
I'm gonna. Ooh. We're not really in
That
it.
is-
I'm gonna activate my harmonic belt.
There you go!
Does that give it disadvantage?
Disadvantage.
All right.
Woo!
I think only one's going to hit with a 28.
Ooh, yeah, that hits.
Shishka.
Okay. And that's going to be 11, 15, 26 points of bludgeoning damage.
Uncanny dodge.
Yep,
Yeah.
gotta love that. Mira, you're too far away from the
14?
tentacles off to the side with Corwin. Gork is falling into its gullet. Abraxas, 3 attacks coming at you. That is a natural 20,
Oh,
a 28, and a 29. I rolled really good.
Were any of those rolled with advantage?
None of them were. They're
None of
3
them
just
were?
regular hits.
oh.
Okay,
He's-
hold on a second.
He's in the air.
Next time on Greying Lands, will Gork get out of the creature's throat?
Yeah.
Can the other get to him in time and survive? Find out next time on Greying Lands.
It's the Dragon Ball Z announcer guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Took a
Um,
Gork supplement.
yeah.
The Gork pill.
Okay. So how many of them hit?
The
I think all 3 of them do.
Um,
I had rolled a natural 20, a 29, and a 28. I rolled an 18, 19, and a natural 20.
Jesus. Yeah, they all hit.
First one, 8, 13, 20 points of bludgeoning for the first one.
Resistant, so 10.
Okay, 9, 12, plus 10. 22 points for the second one.
11.
10, 13, 23 for the third one.
Are we rounding up or down?
Half is always down.
Okay.
For Jet, give me 3 dex saves to stay on Abraxas's back as these tentacles slam into him.
Okay. That one's a 12.
That first strike hits Abraxas, you lose your grip, and you fall, but you do dope monk shit, and you slow fall, and you land on top of its teeth that are closing, and you watch as Gork like cast he like casts this shimmer around himself, and he just looks up at you and smiles and drops down into the throat of the creature.
That's such a Gork thing to do.
And then you see 3 tentacles coming towards you for Jet.
Okie doke.
That is a 15, a 29, and a 13.
The 29 hits.
Okay. That is 11, 14 plus 10, 24 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh.
Braxis and Forget, what would you two like to do next?
Is the darkness still in the room?
Corwin dispelled it.
Dispelled it, right? So there's
Yeah.
so we're not at disadvantage. We can see what's going on.
You can see everything now.
And
And with each like painful movement or like infliction of wounds on this creature, the entire floor of the chamber heaves up and down. You get the feeling what you can see on top is only part of what the creature really is.
right. I'm going to drop my guy, my little construct, my little
Okay.
metal clunk 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 clunk. And
Clunk,
So-
clunk, clunk.
since he's metal, he has a thing called heated body. So he does anyone within 5 feet of him gets 10 fire damage.
Oh my god.
Not 10, a D10. 1d10 fire damage every turn.
Okay. Are you dropping it down into its mouth? Because you're right above it. That's where Frigid fell.
Aerial drop.
Yeah.
For
So
sure.
you
Just
And you
like
drop it into the mouth. Frigid, something metallic drops right by you. And it's going, it's like, it's like waving its little arms as it goes by you and lands inside the mouth of the creature.
He's your mood,
and he
buddy.
gets 2 attacks on his turn to
Yeah,
slam
go for it.
slam. So he's also gonna fight his way down and just like yeah.
No, it's fair.
So he does. I can't do this on D&D Beyond because I don't have the thing there. I don't know how to do it.
Yep.
So I will roll here. So multi-attack slam with my spell attack modifier. Okay, so
Makes sense.
it's basically
He
one of,
summons arcanely through you, so that makes sense.
yeah, my spell attack. So it's plus 10 to this or whatever it is. Roll. 21 for
You just go Army of Darkness on this one.
24. I'm sorry, 21, and it's a D8 plus 4 plus the spell's level, which is 4. So D8 plus 8.
Yep. Go for it. That definitely hits.
So it's 3 plus 8, it's 11, and then he's gonna do it one more time, one more again, and that is a 22.
That'll hit.
2 plus 8 is 10, and here's a D10 for that fire damage.
Okay.
7
Nice.
fire damage. So it's just like a little ball of punching, and just
For Jet, you're on top of the teeth looking down as this creature, this little metal creature, lands inside, causes the tongue and like the side of the mouth meat to kind of blister from the heat. And it's currently purposely crawling its way down the gullet and shredding it and punching it as it goes to chase after Gork, who's now falling through the throat of the creature.
Fabulous.
You're currently standing on the teeth of the creature, maintaining your balance.
that doesn't take any of my action, by the way, so I can still do stuff. So you for Jet go, and then I'll go do something else.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
We're not really in initiative, so when you're describing what you're doing, try to get it all in at the same time.
I'm gonna take my staff and I'm gonna give myself divine favor. So when I hit
Okay.
with it, it's plus 1d4 radiant damage.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hello.
And I'm gonna start whacking.
Go for it. Take all your attacks.
So anyway, I started swinging.
Oh, you started swinging. Well, okay.
That is 22
Whatever,
and
right.
22 to hit.
There we go. Got my pet with me today. Both will hit. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Nice. Okay. So 15 and 8 bludgeoning
Okay.
plus.
And any radiant damage you double.
Mm-hmm.
So that D4 gets doubled.
So it's going to be 12 radiant in total.
Okay. And how much bludgeoning?
15 plus 8, so 23.
Okay. You're just on the face of the teeth of this creature. Poof, poof. You just got your staff crashing down into it. Abraxas, what else did you want to do real quick?
I'm going to guiding bolt again, but I'm going to twin it.
Okay.
So it's two coming at you.
On either side of Forjet, go for it.
Yeah. First one is a 26. I'll just roll both attacks real quick. First one is
Okay.
26. The second one is 18. Does 18 hit?
18 will just barely miss.
Oh, okay. So I only get one. All right. So I'm just going to roll this twice. So that's 12 plus, that's not great. 12 plus 11, 23 points of radiant damage.
Okay. That, Mirror and Keen. Keen, what are you doing? You can see Abraxas and Forjet was above. Abraxas is twin casting down into it. Forjet's now balancing on its closed teeth and slamming her staff into the head. Off to your right, you can see Mira and Corwin up against the wall near some rubble. And you're at the base where the creature's head comes out of the ground, surrounded by tentacles.
And now then it's glowing faintly with advantage.
Correct. So, Keen, you are up. What would you like to try to do?
Let's see. I will reach out to touch it and cast inflict wounds at
You
fourth
do
level.
it.
Do it. Do the thing.
Is it a to hit roll?
It is a 2-hit roll.
You have advantage. It's glowing very brightly.
Advantage. Come on. I'm going to do favored by the gods and add 2d4.
Go for
Yeah.
it.
Do it.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
23 to hit.
23 will definitely hit. Go ahead and roll damage. Is it radiant?
It is, I think it's necrotic.
It's
Okay.
necrotic.
We can make it radiant.
I wish I could.
Can I say with
Meanwhile,
my
Aramis is in your mind right now. You're going, what the fuck are we doing here? Get out of here. This isn't even the worst of it. This is its pet. Let's go. Let's go.
41.
41. Nice.
Oh man, inflict wounds is such a good spell.
It is. Unfortunately, it requires that you physically touch the skin of the main body of the creature. I need you to make a con save, please.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Knew it.
Would that be considered?
12. Because of what you've experienced, the moment that you touch the creature, you immediately warg into the creature itself. And you feel this energy pull you deeper and deeper into this feeling. And there you see, sitting on top of a great pile of bone, its master. It sits there. Underneath it, great remains of hundreds of creatures. The Nurgle-like creature sitting there. It stares as you, for a moment, establish a telepathic connection with it. As you take, as it laughs at you, staring at it, as you take 82 points of psychic damage. And you feel that connection break as you release after inflicting wounds
Oh my god.
on the creature.
Can you have that or something?
The Braxis like flies down. You okay?
Can you do
I
something?
think so, because it's
Is
not.
that it? Are we? Fuck.
Oh, I'm down to 12 points.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Mira, you just watched Keen do heavy damage to it by touching it, but then there was a flash of black energy as she bounced off of it.
Did it have the book? Didn't the thing I see have the book?
It was holding something in its hand.
Ooh.
Wait, is the big creature eye felon still there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
That's what we're
separate
fighting.
vision that Keen just had.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha,
that was
gotcha.
associated with them.
Yeah, okay.
Is the boon of the Everlast still active if we haven't used it? When does that like just go away? Because it goes away.
It's forever until you activate it.
What
Okay.
does the
cool.
boon do?
Yeah, the boon.
Invoke gives you the benefits of a long rest.
Oh, that
Isn't
would
that
be
what your
nice.
sash does?
That's what all. That's we all have that.
No, we all have that from Giselle.
The dragon lady.
From the dragon.
Giselle, that's right. You have the boon. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We have the
Oh
what?
my
Yeah, you
gosh.
have it- yeah.
The boon of the Everlast, and
Yep.
when invoked, you gain the benefits of a long rest.
And then it goes
Oh.
away permanently. So it
Mhm.
stays with you because it's a boon until you actually use it.
And it's one
I
action.
might need to do that next turn.
Why I brought it up, I was like, okay.
Okay, look. It's going to be a long fight. And evidently, this is just its pad. So, look. Now, what we need to do is go do like a Valley Girl
It's
circle.
Ah.
We need to
Valley
talk
Girl-
about this.
It's not a druid circle, it's a valley girl circle.
I'm the circle of the valley. Mira, Mary Bot, I mean, let's get
Look,
this going, right?
I brought my chihuahua in my purse today. It's going down.
It's going down, yeah. Brooke the Marvel just went down
Not
its
on my
guilt,
watch.
so- I mean, I'm just saying, not on my watch today. Oh, all these split ends are so distracting.
Yeah.
I mean, I just got my nails done, so let's just get this going.
Frigette snorting. I did it.
We did it.
Frigette snort. out of
We
that.
did it. We won D&D.
We did it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was great. I think I might have peed a little, but I'm good. I'm good.
That's amazing. Okay.
Oh, I consider it a miracle every time I almost pee.
Oh man.
I'm at that half century mark. Trust me. You start thinking about these things.
All right. So
So,
I-
Mira, You and Corwin are back up against the edge of the pit.
Okay, so I'm looking at Wither and Bloom. It doesn't really say how long it's supposed to stay there for. It's just there.
Let me see. I will put it in Discord, see what it says.
Because I need to make sure if that is the case that I could still cast a spell. Because it doesn't even say anything about concentration either.
Wither and Bloom. Casting time, 1 action. Instantaneous is the duration. So it happens the moment you cast it. And
Happens
then goes
once.
away.
And then it goes away?
I believe so. That's what
It
usually
doesn't say
what,
that.
It's like guiding
That-
bolt or a thing. It's just
yeah,
one. It's
that's
a one.
usually what
one-off.
instantaneous means.
Okie dokie. Then after I see Keen look very distressed, I'm going to I'm gonna where the hecky who?
Oh, that was great. Where the hecky who?
I'd like to cast Healing Word on her at 4th
Okay.
level.
Okay, she's definitely in range. Go ahead and roll.
You heal for 12 points.
12 points, Keen. However, that 12 turns into 52 as Corwin places his hands on your shoulders, Mira, and boosts your divine effect. And you feel like divinity energy come through your arms and hands, and your healing word just gives off this physical manifestation. As Keen, you get 52 hit points back.
Wow.
And I'll look to
And that'll-
Corwin. I think we should have you around more often.
Yeah, but look, I've only got another 20 hours, and we're inside of a haunted, plague-bound monastery, messing with a creature that's, you know what? Never mind. And just kind of goes back to focusing on the fight.
You know you love it.
Gork, you are currently falling and falling and falling. After a few seconds, you're in this giant stomach of acid and bubbling kind of like meat and muscle and tissue all around you. And every time something's going on up above, it undulates all the way down here where the stomach kind of tosses you around a bit. What is your evil, wicked plan, Gork?
He has a sphere still on, right?
Yeah, he's in
Yeah.
the stomach acids with the sphere. How long does it last for, Gork?
Like an hour, I think.
Oh, yeah, you're good then.
Yeah. No, concentration up to 1 minute.
Yeah, that's what I
But-
figured.
That's still enough time.
Oh, sure.
Now what do I want to do? I have no idea how hurt this thing is. I will ask her. So it's not like is it squeezing in on the orb, trying to like?
Not really. It's just kind of bouncing you around its massive stomach.
How deep does the acid seem? The stomach acid.
You're free floating in the orb.
Gross.
I'm like.
I mean, that's how pills work, so.
I'm going to.
Are you going to hamster ball an orb in the stomach of a plague
Yeah.
beast?
Yeah.
You know what? Why not? It's Saturday night.
I'm a
Let's just keep
hamster
this ball
orbit
rolling.
because I'm just in the middle. I can't do anything if I fall into the
You
acid.
hear this metallic squeal? And this little metal automaton bounces off the orb and onto a pile of meat and muscle off to the side.
Oh, it
And
fell
just
straight through. It
continues-
wasn't
It's just
stuck.
continuing to
Alright.
tear and
I'm
pummel
a
its way.
hamster ball over to near the wall, right?
you're like,
I'm gonna like place my sword up to the orb, and I'm immediately gonna dispel the orb and shove the sword into the stomach wall, and I'm just gonna like kind of try and hang there so I don't fall into the acid.
that's certainly worth an attempt.
Sorry, I guess I gotta make the attack roll.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm gonna stab it on the inside, and then maybe I'll fall in the acid. Maybe I
You're
won't, I don't
going
know.
full on Drax.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, great. Now I want to watch Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, 19 for a 28 to hit.
28 definitely hits. You slide your blade into the wall of the stomach. You get multiple attacks, don't you?
Oh shit, you're right. Might. I
Oh yeah! After
That
your
look of joy.
after your second strike, we'll say you'll hang on to your
Smite
blade.
counts as a spell, right? I can't cast Smite twice. Or is that like a react?
Correct.
Hold on.
Yeah, you can only ever cast Smite during your first attack.
With
Okay, so-
metrics, you can.
So I'm a stab it. I'm gonna stab it, and I'm gonna pull it out. And I'm gonna stab it again. So
like you dispel and go really quick twice.
okay, so
into the
first,
side of the
so
stomach.
first attack I smite. It hit for 11 slashing,
Okay.
and the smite will again be at 3rd level.
Keep rolling and keep adding up, my friend.
12 radiant,
Doubled.
doubled for 24. Another 12 for 24.
48.
Oh, these paladins smite.
And
dumps.
10 for 20. Oh wait, no, I got the radiant. Oh, I got one. I got two more. Hold on, I got two more because my sword that automatically was 1d8, and due to improved divine smite, I'm automatically get another 1d8 just for the attack. So that's another 2d8 or 2d12.
Just for flavor.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't roll shit. 5 for a total of 10.
Okay.
Radiant.
So, as after that second strike, the sword jams into the wall of the lining of the creature, and you hold on to it, and you're about 15 feet up above the stomach acid down below. Araxis,
I still got one more attack. That was just the first
two?
attack.
You have 3 attacks?
No, that was just one attack.
That was just one?
That was the attack plus the smite.
Go
My
for it.
attack is 2d12. My weapon gives me 1d12 radiant.
I
Improved.
believe you. Do your second strike.
It's a lot of.
It's like
I know.
flashing
I'm
lights
familiar
in the
with high-level
stomach.
paladins, my friend. I'm familiar.
25 to hit.
25 will definitely hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
So slashing. 16 slashing. And 11 radiant for a total of 22 radiant.
So, you feel this on that second strike, the sword penetrates through the lining of the wall and sticks into something heavy and dense of the meat of the body of the creature. And you're now hanging there like this, about 15 feet above the boiling kind of stomach acid down below. And you're kind of like hanging on. Give me an athletics check to make sure you're holding on well.
21.
21. So yeah, you're hanging there. Meanwhile, off to your left, on a pile of meat and like skin, this little metal automaton is like ripping in to the remains. Up above, the entire creature spasms. All the tentacles begin to droop. The body of the creature begins to settle into the hole. And for Jet, you kind of jump monk style off to the edge as you watch the main form of the creature retract, descend, and descend. Gork, I need you to make a strength save as a very large creature is collapsing in on itself.
Is it still alive?
No.
Oh.
It is not.
I killed it.
no.
Oh.
Yeah, he
Can
did
we
a
see
116
mouth?
damage on that turn.
Yeah. Can we see into the mouth? Like, can I see from flying over it into the mouth?
The mouth is currently shut and collapsing down in on itself.
24.
I would like to cast polymorph on it and make it turn into like a little puppy, or wait, no, not a puppy. A seal or something.
Has to be a living creature or
Yeah.
object.
It only work. It doesn't work if it has 0 hit points.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, my guy is
Good
also
idea.
inside there with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you immediately, Abraxas, feel the connection with your entity snuff out
Yeah.
as it takes 100 points of
Acid.
force damage
Oh.
from the collapse of the size of the creature. Gork, you take half of that because you made your strength save. And
Half-
you're
half-
currently half of
what?
100. So
Okay.
50 points of force damage from the collapsing body of this huge beast collapsing on top of you. And that's where we're going to finish tonight.
Ah!
You have entered the monastery and begun the Battle of Beelzebub's book. Welcome to level 17 or 16, everybody. You'll level up
16?
tonight.
Interesting.
Oh,
Level 16.
Interesting.
What are we now?
Well,
Sweet 16.
gross fight. Well done. Gross. Well done with the grossness.
Gross.
One
Lots
of my
of
favorite.
You're
viscera.
currently
This,
taking on
Yeah.
you're
Lots of gross.
currently taking on a plague demon is what you're currently taking on. So think 40k Nurgle, Gork.
Yep, I was thinking.
Well,
Fantastic.
thanks
Also-
everybody for coming out. We appreciate it. We'll be back here, I believe, next Sunday, correct, or next Saturday.
Mhm.
So schedule-wise,
That's the last
we
one.
will be back here the
Holidays, right?
17th, but we will be off the 24th, and potentially the 31st as well. That's New Year's Eve. So we are due to come back after the 17th on the 7th. So keep those schedules in mind as we move forward. And we are about to recover, hopefully, the next book, which only leaves one book after that, folks. So,
Oh,
as I always like to
dang.
say, be kind, stay safe, play a game. It's good for you. We'll see you guys next week.
bye.
You guys linger because I got a funny story for you.
Uh-oh.